Unmute. Okay, there we go. How's that? I'm doing this remotely. Woo! We're just gonna hop into it right there. Good evening. Yes, my video is choppy. I'm in Galveston, but the stream is being hosted through my home internet connection. So hopefully the audio is good. You guys let me know in the chat how that sounds, how everything's going. And happy Sunday. Thanks for joining us tonight. I hope everyone has the day off tomorrow and is going to have a good 3-day weekend. So appreciate you guys coming up here. We were on I was on Frank's stream and I was outside smoking a cigar, and as soon as I lit my cigar, it started getting rained on, so I came inside. But that's how it works. So got a cast of characters to join us tonight. So I'm just going to open this up to everybody and put that there. You guys will all have to unmute yourselves. So go ahead and welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining.
Welcome, everybody.
Howdy.
Hello.
Good after evening noon.
There you
Everybody
go.
going.
Vince, that's our thing, buddy.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
so my buddy Simon from England walked up to the booth and saw George in the Ham Radio Workbench podcast booth. He says, "I need you to know that's not Vince's thing. That's my thing." And to which
Oh,
and it was. I stole that from Simon. Golf 7 Hotel Charlie Delta, in case anybody's wondering. But it's my way of saying hello to Simon. You know, the way Carol Burnett used to grab her earlobe and say hello to her aunt? That's my way of saying hi to Simon all the time. So there you go.
you kind of
That's
dated yourself there, Vince, but I get what
yes,
you're saying.
yes,
So
yes, I did. Thank you so
You're gonna have
much.
to explain to the younger
Vince-
ones who Carol Burnett is.
right.
Yeah, go
Vince,
ahead,
how
Freddie.
old, Vince, how old do you think we are?
Old enough to know who Carol Burnett is.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I know who she is.
Yeah. Old enough for that. So
Yeah.
let me give a shout out real quick to all the folks in green text in the chat. I see N5SKT there. I see Ed is in there. A lot of other people. And again, I'm kind of doing this remote from the beach house to the good internet home in Grapevine. James, I see you in there. Jody is in there. Who else? Richard
Does he know he's a
K6RDJ.
little roomy?
I don't know.
Ed is in there.
Ed, yeah, Ed's in there. Let's see, who else?
I see Mike the Traveling Ham's in there.
Yeah,
Bro,
Mike.
Brojet is in there.
Saw Joe Brett in there too. So we were at the beach yesterday doing POTA, and for the first time I hooked up. I have the Optima. I got the Optima. It was delivered here the day after we arrived here. So like Thursday, I think. So like 3 days ago, I got the Optima. Took it to the beach on Saturday. Fired it up. Kind of looking around, doing you know, getting used to the menus and whatnot because I didn't really get a chance to get on the radio, be on the air, or use it while I was in Galveston, or while we were in Hamvention rather, because I was passing it around, letting people kind of toy with that field model that I had. And so I fired up and I spot myself on POTA, and I called CQ twice, and the first contact I ever made on that radio came back 5-6-5-7, pretty good signal, and I heard Kilo 5 Yankee Hotel Yankee Victor Yankee, and I'm like, all right, this is a good radio. Joe
That's a
Brett's
good
my
omen
first
right there.
contact. You know, that's a good sign. So I was happy about that.
The radio has been christened.
Right.
It's been something.
Yeah, it's been something for sure. So yeah, welcome to everybody. Thanks for being here tonight. I think Dane, I don't think you've been on before.
No, sir, I haven't.
Okay, so why don't you tell us about yourself, Dane?
Well, I'm a super small YouTube guy. Just messing around, having fun with it. That's about it. I don't have really much going on.
All right. We caught up with Dane at Xenia. He hung out with us whole weekend last weekend, and that was fun. So thanks for joining us tonight.
I appreciate
Glenn,
you guys having me.
Yeah, totally. Glenn, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. And Don says RNL is shipping my Optima, free shipping, no sales tax. I got free shipping. I can't remember if I paid sales tax on it or not, but not sure. I should my producer disappeared. Mike, as we stated on the last on his stream, he's actually my cook, and he decided he wanted to do something else after I invited him to come cook for us at
There he is.
events. So
Can't miss
yeah.
that shirt.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think he can hear us. No,
So,
he's put his
Jason-
earbuds in now. Yeah.
Jason, you have
So-
fun with that Optima. Apparently, there's some sort of issue going on with 40 meters where it does not. You can get like CQ and it just cuts out on power, but it looks like you're transmitting just fine. Josh had that problem. A couple others had that problem, and yeah, have fun with that one.
So I find that it's a little it appears to me that it's a little bit buggy. And what I mean by that is that the power meter sometimes will look like when I was talking to Joe Brett, we talked for like 2 or 3 minutes, not a long conversation, but the power meter sometimes just drops to 0, but then it'll come back up, but then it'll drop to 0. And he sent me a video of my audio, and the radio itself sounded fine. This was on 15 meters. The radio itself sounded fine, but for whatever reason, it looks like the power meter, the power's dropping down and coming back and dropping down, and it's only peaking to like 50 watts. I've got it set to 100 watts. That might be a single sideband thing, but it seems to me like the power meter on the SDR is not. It looks like it needs a firmware update. So that's one small bug I found in it. Mike found a bug in his where it would. I forget what he told me. Something about it would power itself off or power itself back on at certain times or something like that. So I've heard
think
about
he
it.
was saying something about it was like completely freezing up, and he had to like completely turn the radio off.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
said he said his froze up on him a couple times. I have not had that happen to me yet. And then something else he discovered was that and I didn't think this was that big of a deal, but the USB-C, the battery that comes off of the back of the field radio, it's USB-C chargeable. It takes a high-powered USB charger to charge it.
Yeah,
you
I
have
found
to
that
have-
out last night.
Yeah, you have to have your battery at like 13.8 volts or greater to charge it. So I'm kind of used to that because the R-Finder devices that are USB-C chargeable are the same way. So I'm kind of used to that already anyway. A lot of my stuff is high-powered charging like that. But Glenn, thank you for the other super chat. Appreciate that.
Something else Mike was talking about last night. I'm not going to use the word complain, but something he was talking about last night was
All right.
that it seems like it takes a long time for that battery to charge, about 7 hours, even at
Yeah.
the PD
That's what I
voltages.
heard. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
But
heard too.
I was looking at the manual last night, and it says in the book it's going to take about 7 hours to charge.
No, there you go. So
So
it
how
lasts
big is
about- but
that
it-
battery?
it's
6,500.
62 or 6,400 milliamp hours, but it does last about 9 hours on receive. So, I mean, I guess it's give and take. It takes a long time to charge, but it's not a Kenwood D75 battery that's going to die in 3 hours. So that's
This is
you know,
true.
kind of good there. But
Were you
Paul-
making fun of me when I was out here?
No,
No.
Absolutely.
never.
Frank.
I might have been.
Never.
Not
That's the
us.
thing.
No,
I heard my
no.
name as I sat
We're
back down.
we're
plead
friends,
the
we're
fifth.
family. We would never do that, Frank.
Well,
No.
Never.
Frank.
Never.
No.
You're,
Love it.
you're,
Love it.
You're,
Ask
you're
Shane,
not
he'll
the,
tell you.
You're not the original Frank, though, Frank. So
I am.
no, not on this stream. You're not. Paul Prepan Paul is in the chat. Paul, you're welcome to join us. It's the same Zoom link as always. James Quirky QRP, you're welcome to join us as well. You guys should have gotten an email, but yeah, everybody's welcome to join us.
I tell you
I've-
what, I did
Yo.
get it ready.
What'd you get? Ooh, what is that?
It's for
The
that
fan.
cooling fan.
Oh, that's the fan. Okay,
It's
so
under
I
the
haven't.
battery.
Yeah, I haven't got any of the accessories in yet. I want to get that stand, that Armalock looking
Yeah,
thing.
I've ordered it,
stand
but
for
they're
me.
talking
Okay.
like August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, question: without the fan, Jason, you operated it down at the Galveston coast. Is
Yes.
the back getting really hot where it's necessary? Like the G90, the G90 is notorious for having overheating issues where they put like a giant fan on it.
So the fan. So here's the weird thing. The fan fits on the back of the QRP rig. If you attach the 100-watt amplifier to it, which has a heat sink, you can't put the
Yeah.
fan and the amplifier on at the same time.
No.
So I was using the 100-watt version, the Optima, and no, it did not get hot. But the bands were weird yesterday. I was getting a lot of QSB. I would get, it seemed like 15 meters was kind of starting to wake up a little bit. Mike ran a good pileup. I was running 100 watts. Mike was running 10 watts. he had a good pilot going on, but he was on 20 meters, of course. And I don't know what his, I don't know if his got hot or not, but no, my Optima never got hot, but I wasn't making fast contacts. I sat there for about an hour and made like 30 contacts.
So I just wondered when he showed us the fan when we're
Yeah.
at Dayton, I'm like, why do you need that fan to be there? And how hot is it going to be getting to have that fan that make it necessary?
Yeah.
They only recommend the fan when you're running on battery power. I mean, on external power. You don't need the fan
Correct.
to stay when you're running the.
Well, you have to remove the battery to put the fan on.
Exactly.
So you don't have any choice there.
That's true.
So you have to remove the battery, put the fan on, and then plug it in external power. So you get a full 10 watts anyway, which is, I mean, probably what you want to do.
And does it get
Yeah.
so maybe when you're running the full 10 watts without the amplifier, because that's the additional heat sink, maybe it's putting out more heat than you need that fan for. I was just curious though when I saw
To be
that. I was
determined,
like,
I guess. I don't. Yeah, I have not. I've only. I used it for like an hour or two yesterday morning, and since then I haven't used it at all. So I'm going to take it to the park next. There was a lot of people at the park at the state park yesterday for the holiday weekend.
Yeah,
as you can imagine. And when the
I stayed away.
When the ice cream man got there about 10 a.m.
man.
Seriously, there was an ice cream truck that was there. They have food trucks and whatnot there, and they have an ice machine that's there all the time at the park on the beach side there where the pavilions are. The ice cream man got there and fired up his generator. It completely wiped out our we couldn't hear anything. We couldn't hear anything. So we packed up. We were gone by like noon. And so it was, I mean, I think Mike made 40 contacts. I made like 30, 32 contacts, something like that. My wife tried to activate. She only made 3 contacts. So it was kind of one of those things where it's like, the band was already kind of, 15-meter band was kind of weak anyway. I think it probably was starting to wake up, but then the generator noise killed us. So lesson learned, I don't like going to, in fact, this is a good discussion topic here. I don't like going to POTA on the weekends because I don't like it being crowded, especially during summer. I don't like it being crowded. I would much rather go on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Now I know you guys have these things called jobs. I get it. But
what's that now?
Yeah. Crowded where?
Even,
on the band or in the park?
In the park. Crowded I don't mind being crowded in the band. Of course not.
Yeah, all
no.
right. All right.
No, crowded in the park. Now, who was that who was? Oh, Freddie Mac. Yeah, Freddie Mac says he's retired, but he's not. He's not retired.
2 days.
So, but no. I mean, what do you guys do? You prefer going to the park when there's more people there? Maybe you've got a park that's either not popular, or maybe you've got a hidden area in the park you know about that you can get away. But that's why I don't prefer going on Saturdays.
Nice quiet park where nobody's around and I don't have to look over my shoulder the whole time I'm there.
Right.
Yeah,
or drunk people playing frisbee golf. And
Yeah.
hey, what are you doing? You gonna talk to aliens?
They weren't drunk yet. It was only like 9 a.m, but they set up a volleyball net right next to our antennas. So the volleyball kept missing the volleyball, and it kept rolling into the coax and the ground plane radials. And I'm just like,
and it'd be a shame if you just happened to key up when they were walking by.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What if the hex beam caught the volleyball?
Oh, that's 10 points.
Then someone would be paying for hex beam and be like, I was here first. I set up this first. If you guys can't keep your volleyball to yourself, you need to go somewhere else. So
hang on to your balls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keep your balls to yourself.
Says the Canadian.
Jason, I'll send you my pin to where I go to activate Ray Roberts, where there's no one there.
I was going to ask for that, Shane. Could you mention that on Frank's stream? Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That being said, I tweeted about it. Go.
What, Frank?
I was going to let Shane finish.
I'm done. I just said we saw it.
Okay. Yeah, I tweeted about it. I was like, man, I really like to hit up the park. I just think it's going to be too crowded. And a lot of people piled on and be like, just go in there anyway. Find the quiet spot. I'm like, my quiet spots are the quiet spots. And I know people will be there and to be crowded. And when I set up at Dinosaur Valley State Park, even though I was in a quiet area, My girl was with me at the time. She said she watched like a 2-year-old walk over there and stumble across the guidelines. And I was like,
yeah.
ugh.
That's a nice thing about living where I do in Delaware. It's a plethora of state parks and other things around just to go to.
I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it.
So there's always a place to go. I mean, a lot of the state parks have different areas to go to where you could get away from people. You could either hike somewhere or there's multiple parking lots. You just got to pay attention to what's really going on. Like I've gone to one of the only, the only national park in Delaware that has multiple locations. One's along the Brandywine River. And of course, I decided to go there on 4th of July. Big mistake. Everyone and their mother was out there and you couldn't get a parking spot. It's on the back roads and you couldn't get through without trying to get a swerve around people on a road with no paint on it. So.
Well, there's only like 12 people who live in Delaware, though. So
yeah, there's only 12 people.
I
They're all Democrats, but but they all come out at the same time.
They all come out. That's good.
You know, I like it. You know, I go out to my local park, and it's just far enough out that no one goes out there. The only people that go out there are the fishermen, and they stay on their side. I stay on my side. Everything's happy, copacetic. Nobody goes out there.
See, I'm super lucky.
Good.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm super lucky at my local park. They have the old entrance for that used to go down to the lake, and they closed that because like part of the road as you're going down the hill got washed out probably, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. So they have this old parking lot at the top that has this huge field on it that nobody ever parks at. So I pull up, I back into this thing, and I got a huge field to set up kind of whatever I want.
Wait.
Well, that's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Which I lost something in that field the other day. About 4 weeks ago.
What did you do?
What did you lose?
So my murder spike. I got it. I had it for about 2 weeks.
No.
And I left it in that field, and I literally found it today. I was
nice.
in that field for about 45 minutes, with my daughter, just combing through it, trying to find it.
Well, at least you didn't leave your FT5 on top of a mountain.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was about to go there.
Who's the guilty party? Who did that?
Me.
Oh,
That's
when we were at where was that? Was that Grand Canyon? Or was that?
It has to be Grand
Well, it
Canyon.
was on that trip, but when we went to do the soda POTA thing, I think
Charlie
that's where you lost it.
Yeah, Charlie and Adam had found a drive up summit, so we all drove up there the day, and we sat this far off the back of the truck. Mike has a video about that where he's like, "This is legal, this is not, this is legal." It's funny, but I got back to the campsite later, and I'm like, "Where's my radio?" I couldn't find it. I assume I left it up there, and I'm just like, I don't know, man.
well, it had APRS running on it, so you knew where it was, right? Oh, wait a minute,
Sure.
Mike was with you. No, it didn't.
Yeah.
It was an ICOM, so no, it didn't.
I don't know. I didn't have the FT5 then, I don't think.
I don't know if you did or not, but I left my FT5 there. So and that was before I got the extended battery. So I ended up getting another FT5 from Roger at Arnell. He had an open box that he sold me for a discounted price. He was already asking a lower price for it because it was open box. And I emailed him. I was like, "Dude, you're not going to believe this. I left my FT5 on a mountain." He's like, "Oh, I've got an open box. I'll sell it to." I think he sold it to me for like $300, which at the time they were like $449 or something like that. But you say Charlie's name and he pops into the Zoom, so we're going to let him in here.
Jason, wouldn't it have been funny if the open box FT5 was your FT5 that you found?
That's good.
Found on a mountain.
I don't know. I found this somewhere. But yeah, no, it worked out. It's okay. All right. Frank, Tank Radio Frank. I've got this. I got this earlier in the week. It's called Castle and Key Small Batch.
Oh,
have you heard of that?
No, but please tell me.
I I saw it there. So this guy down here is the same place I bought that Heaven Hill that one time. He's got like 4 cases of that Heaven Hill bottled and bond right now. Like right now. I asked him what allocated stuff he had, and he showed me that, and he said he usually has Eagle Rare. He had some Weller. He had a bunch of Buffalo Trace. He said the Eagle Rare kind of sells like the first day it comes in.
Yeah.
But this one was not allocated, or at least it wasn't in that area. But I'd never seen it before, never had it before. I thought, oh, I'll try something new, and it's pretty good. Castle and Key. So
I finished on my live stream this White Oak Aske. That
the stuff that Paul gave you.
Yeah, and now I moved to the bottle that no one wanted to touch, the Canadian whiskey
Club.
I left one up there, and I think
no. Is that the bottle you got at the gas station?
That's the same stuff that I brought down the little airline bottles of.
Yeah, I sit on top of my radio.
There was I got a bottle. I brought home one of your bottles. I think the bottle you were trying to get rid of, Frank, I ended up with that. There's only like this much left in it.
Yeah.
But I think there was 2 different versions of that you brought, Vince, I think, and the one that was 1858, which was a little bit darker in color. That one was pretty good. Pretty good. It's not a Weller or a Buffalo Trace by any stretch, but it was pretty good. I drank those. Those little bottles were the 1858s, I think. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But
what's up, Charlie?
Hey, I don't know. Just coming in hot. I don't know what's going on.
Well, Charlie's half the man he used to be, and I mean that literally, because I saw him at 4 Days in May. I'm like, dude, what did you do?
He looks familiar.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I met Charlie.
His headphones look huge.
Yeah.
He's got the Princess Leia thing going on the stream, but
Charlie, did you go to Xenia? Because I met you at 4 Days in May, and then I'm like, I'm going to catch up with you. And then never saw you again.
I saw him there.
Yeah, I went to the trailer once, and it was just Jason and Richard and I think one other person there. It was you guys were out doing your thing. So
yeah.
Xenia's huge, to be honest. Like the meet us, it's huge.
It shocked me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, who was the first year? Who's first year there?
Me.
Dane and Paul and
Josh. What were y'all's thoughts of the whole festival?
I kept telling my audience this was literally the World's Fair of Amateur Radio. Way bigger than I ever imagined it would be.
Dude, I think the first time I went, this was my YouTube channel was brand new. Nobody knew who I was. I went with a couple of friends here from North Texas, and I came home and I told my wife, I was like, I need to sleep for about 2 days. Because I've never seen, I've been a ham for like, I'd been a ham for like 21, 22 years at that point in time. I think 2015 was my first year to go to Dayton when it was still in Hera. And I've never seen that much ham radio in one place before. I'm just like, wow, that was freaking cool.
I remember when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, someday maybe I'll go, but I don't think I'll ever go. And then after going the one time, I'm like, okay, I'm not ever not going anymore. I'm going every year.
And now that's the only time we ever see Charlie anymore is when he's in Dayton.
That's true. Or half of me, whatever.
How many more CW keys did you get while you were there, Charlie?
I almost bought 3 and I didn't buy any actually though.
Wow.
I didn't buy any, but I have 3 I'm going to buy.
I bought more keys than Charlie did. Wow.
How about that?
What did you get?
Weird.
I got the modern Morse key from Aaron.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna buy that in December, I think. For Christmas.
So I go up to his booth, and N8YO had texted him. He's like, "Hey, Jason wants the key," and I'm like, "This guy didn't know who I am. I don't do CW." But I went up there yet. Well, I actually can't. I can send. I'm just receiving. I'm listening. I'm trying to learn it. But anyway, so I go up to his booth, and we're talking to him, and he's like. And I said, hey, I want to get my my logo engraved on one. He does the laser engraving thing. He's like, okay, well, you can order that. He's like, do you ever do giveaways on the channel? And I'm like, of course I do. So he's like, I tell you what, why don't you buy one of these keys off my table, do a giveaway, and then I'll send you one with your logo on it. And I'm like, cool. So I didn't mention in the beginning of the stream, but this time next week, a week from Sunday, is Frank. I don't know if you still have that link or not, but
No, not on this computer. Sorry.
Okay, the May giveaway is for the my last Yaesu FT 710. We'll be giving that away on the live stream a week from tonight, so next Sunday, and I'm gonna give that key away to somebody at that night too. So those are really, I mean, I don't know much about keys a whole lot, but that's a cool design. I really liked the way that was put together with the metal casing and the whatever that process is where he colors them. It's not powder coating, but it's something similar to that. So
Cerakoting.
That is Cerakoting. That's it.
Yeah,
I think those are they look like they're very well made.
Yes,
and I'm always about the made in the USA stuff. That's just me. Made in the USA stuff's always fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Like
even the Canadian bought one.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
We'll say made in North America. How about that?
Is it 20% smaller?
It was very tempting to get one of those palm Pico paddles.
Yeah,
but I resisted the urge because I've got a couple of Atoms and they're freaking awesome for all the CW I don't do.
Right,
Didn't Bill get that Pico paddle? I think it was Bill that got it, wasn't he?
I know Kyle got one.
One.
I think that Bill did go get one. Yes, I believe Bill.
Yeah,
because Kyle was showing his off. Kyle was showing his off at the campsite, and Bill was like, "Where'd you get that?" So
yeah, the guy that actually in charge of it, owned the business, was there at 4 days in May.
Yeah,
I made a mistake of I asked his wife if the LED, some of them had little green light in them, and I asked if they were built inside, and she said yes, but apparently no, they were just kind of LEDs up underneath. So I was mistaken on that, but yeah, that business is it folded probably 10 years ago because all of the owners, it was owned by 4 or 5 people, and some of them passed away or weren't able to do it anymore. It was just him, and so he just stopped advertising. And I don't think they build many more. That he still kind of builds a little bit, but it's still there. And if you email him, he will send you one, even though you don't just email him direct. He doesn't have a website anymore or anything.
Yeah, I remember the way Kyle was talking about it. They were kind of Unobtainium, and I think that's why Bill wanted one. He's like, "Whoa, that guy's here!" So a lot of people thought he was out of business, but apparently not. So that's good.
I think the last time he said to Josh last time he was there was a while ago, and yeah, he'll make them on demand as needed, but it's a very small quantity right now because it's literally just him, it seems like, at this point. But Josh got one of those Pico paddles too.
I resisted. I was like, I'll get the modern Morse one. I like that. I just personally like the way that one looks better. But the Pico paddle, you could tell it was very well made. If I was more in a CW, I'll probably end up with 27, 37 keys, the way that Charlie has at one point in time if I ever actually do CW. But
key collection.
It's like
well, just to make sure everybody knows which ones I was going to get, the 3 I was going to get.
All right, yeah, what?
So one of them was Aaron's, of course. I'm going to wait till Christmas and make that a Christmas gift for me, to myself, from myself. The second one is Chuck's, and Chuck actually wanted to give me one, and I told him no. And it's because I've not been doing videos, and I won't be picking it up here until another month or 2. But then when I do, I've got 3 videos of reviews of key paddles that I have right now that I haven't even reviewed yet. So he said, okay, we'll when you get to it, because it'll be next year probably. So his, and then the third one is the guy, I always forget his call sign, but he's a competitor of Bengali, and he has a key that I wanted to buy, and I've every
N3ZN.
N3ZN.
Tony,
yes.
Tony,
I sat and talked to him on his table for a half hour again, and he's just a great guy. And then I never ended up buying it. So
Charlie,
yeah,
right now, stock up all your video that you can. Get like a month's worth of video before you start releasing video again.
Yes.
So you have that cushion, and you can have, if you need some downtime and then you can catch up again, stockpile it.
Sounds good. All right.
Not making videos. I don't understand you guys. No, Tony N3ZN, he sent me his desktop key, which is the weighted key that's made to use in the Ham Shack, and then he sent me one of his they're both iambic keys. He sent me one of his lighter weight I forget the names of them, but he's like, this is the one a lot of the soda guys use because it's really lightweight, and it's you got to hold it because it's not heavy enough to hold down by itself. But no, those are some excellent keys. I told him that I was starting to learn Morse code, and I did a couple of my lunchtime live streams sending Morse code, and he sent me his keys, or he sent me 2 of his keys when I told him that, and he's been really supportive of me, someone who's not very much into CW but wants to be more. So I think, and his keys were all made in the USA. I was talking about made in the USA a minute ago. His keys were all made in the USA. So
yeah,
I really like
handcrafted.
it. Yeah, those are that's a good try. I'd be interested to see, Charlie, with your experience in CW, what you think about those as compared to, like, everything else that's out there. So
yeah, I'll give it a fair review. We'll see.
yeah, sure, yeah, totally. That'd be cool. Be cool to watch. Good. Well, I didn't say hi to Paul yet. Paul, I saw you pop in there a minute ago.
Yeah,
So
I
what's
was
up,
waiting.
man?
I was waiting for an even number, but then I took too long. I
That's
came
all right.
back. I had to grab something. Came back. And it was 10. I'm like, well, now I'm gonna make it 11.
That's okay.
No, everything's
Yeah.
good. I really enjoyed Hamvention my first time, and like field day and everything else, I operate so little, and I end up socializing with everyone. So I just like meeting everybody. But next year, there's 2 things I'll do different. One, I will go earlier. I'll probably spend a couple days before it starts and try to do some POTA. And 2, I will not rent from a car from Avis. Those are the 2 changes, because Avis, I made a short of it. We got there, me and 7 other people, 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night. And you're supposed to have your name on the board, the key in the car. You just go pick it up and leave.
Right.
Me and 7 other people, none of our names, no cars, nobody working there. You call customer service. Oh, I'll make a note. And we're like, well, what does that mean? You're going to call the manager? He's like, no, nothing we can do till 6 a.m. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh, wow.
And I was in Cincinnati, not Dayton. Wouldn't have been a big deal if I'd gone to Dayton. But Cincinnati is an hour 20 minutes away, and not a cheap Uber drive, but I had to get to Dayton. So
if I'm not mistaken, the Cincinnati airport is actually in Kentucky, is it not?
Yeah,
That's right.
which is weird because it's Cincinnati / Northern Kentucky Airport.
When we got our same situations every year this way with Cincinnati with the rental cars, and last year Adam K6RK he took the electric car, and there was no place to charge, so he was in deep doo-doo. This year they didn't have any cars. They said, well, we don't have any cars. You have 2 choices. Either you can take an electric car, or you can take a 15-passenger van. So what do you think we were driving around?
15-passenger van.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
funny.
That's the way to do it right there. Sheesh.
So Avis and Budget under the hood are the same company. And I have a budget story that I should turn into a video, because I was quoted 650 Canadian dollars for my rental, and it landed up being 1,100 US dollars.
My God.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
So Budget, never again.
No.
Well,
goodness.
that's okay. Hertz is under budget under that umbrella too.
Yep.
And Rob, Digital Rancher, just mentioned something. I have a couple horror stories about this too. He had a Hertz horror story. They called him Friday asking where the truck was.
I didn't hear this.
After you turned it in? Oh man, Rob, you got to join Zoom and tell us that
Not
story,
cool.
Rob.
Oh my God.
Oh, they call me. I assume you mean Friday, as in 2 days ago.
So
And oh wow, because he had that big 3/4 ton Chevrolet, I think it was, and that
Yeah.
he was driving. Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
So
Oh, that's
our company
unreal.
vehicles are subletted out through Hertz, and there have been friends and coworkers of mine driving company vehicles that get pulled over because the vehicle's been reported stolen by Hertz. And
Wow.
Yes,
goodness.
I've
don't-
seen
they don't
so
care.
many stories of this.
They don't
Wow.
care. They consider it a stolen vehicle. They take you where you need to go and drop you. On a good day, they take you where you need to go, drop you, take the car back, and that's it. And then you get screwed. So yeah, they're
goodness.
having fun.
I may just drive next year. I don't know.
Dude, I'm telling you what. I mean, I like having my. It takes 2 days. Well, I mean, if you could drive 16, 17 hours straight through, then you can get there in 1 day.
No, I
But
do
I-
it 2 days for sure.
I
yeah.
do it in 2 days also. So that's 2 days out, 2 days back, instead of just flying out the same 1 day and flying back the next day. But then you have your vehicle there.
Yep.
You can come and go as you please. I like road trips. I've always liked road trips. I would much rather drive. I calculated it. I spent about $500 in gas to and from this trip. And Frank, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you and Robert say y'all paid somewhere in the neighborhood of 600 for the plane tickets.
Yes, it was around 500.
Okay, it's 500. Okay, see, the last time I flew to Dayton 5 years ago, I paid like 375. But with the hike and of course gas is higher now too. But with the hike and the price of plane tickets, I'm just like, shoot, if I'm gonna pay almost the same thing, I'd rather have my vehicle there. So
Ohio tariffs too.
So Rob
Mhm.
did say, 2 days ago, they never checked the truck back in.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other thing about driving is you can take your time and go along. And if there's some oddball POTA or something, you stop off and do a 1 or 2 POTAs on the way there, back, get your 10. I don't know, make a trip. Cause I'm like you, I don't, even though, and it's probably because I work in the industry, but I don't like flying. I absolutely hate flying. I hate the security. I hate the wait, and I'm standby. So it sucks because I don't even know if I'm going to get a seat till the last minute. Like the flight home, I was on the flight with Frank and Robert. We were actually doing Meshtastic. I was sitting in the back on the jump seat in the galley, and we were Meshtasticing back and forth during the flight. So it was kind of funny, but
that's good.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like road trips. I'm with you.
I do too. Yeah.
Well,
I do
you don't have to put your Meshtastic in airplane mode.
No.
Did you put your airplane in Meshtastic mode?
Yeah, that's a better question. I'll get some pings from people who are flying overhead sometimes.
I got another one the other day. I've had 2 so far.
I live literally 2 miles as the crow flies from the Knoxville, Tennessee airport, and every morning I wake up, somebody's saying hi from 20,000 feet or whatever.
Nice. Yeah.
I may have to start bringing it to work with me and set it in the window when I'm in between, services. See what happens.
It's a good idea. I've done it.
Jason, you know where Ardmore, Oklahoma is. That
yes.
I'm about 100 miles away from there, and I got a Meshtastic message from an airplane landing near there.
Really?
Not too long ago, and we were able to exchange a few messages before he finally landed, and I lost him.
Huh?
It was pretty cool.
I think Rob, he worked. Who was it? It was somebody in the chat. Somebody. If I was to say his name, you guys would recognize. It was like it was Cooley or one of those guys. He was flying over somewhere, and he worked one of the guys who's in our chats all the time. And they traded 2 or 3 messages before he lost it. So
that's cool.
It's kind of fun.
So cool.
Very cool.
Kind of yeah.
It was fun. It was fun on that flight with Robert in the front of the plane, and then we have Paul in the back of the plane. I'm in the middle, and we're just chatting. And we had the roughest turbulence I had in a while.
Yeah, it was
bad. Paul was like, "Be glad you're not back here because it's like 10 times worse." And I just envision Paul going.
I just seatbelted in, and I was really wanting to bring you that Coke, but I never had an opportunity.
Because we didn't get service. I was like, man, I'm dying for a Coke here.
I snagged a Coke out of there. I was hoping to get a couple of Woodfords for Robert, but it just didn't work out.
Oh, Robert had Woodford. He's like, this lady's bourbon.
Yeah, she gave it. He was up in business, so he was getting it all there. But I thought bring him something after.
So it was so turbulent that they suspended the drink service.
Yeah. No drink service for the main.
I've been on a couple of flights like that, but yeah.
Usually, if it's bumpy, if once you get to about 50 minutes before landing, if it's still bumpy, that's when they'll call it. They won't go out.
I see.
Yeah. Well, I on that flight, it got bad enough. I stopped editing and I just stared out the window for a while because I looked at my seat and I'm like, good. I had the little bag there. I was like, oh.
But that was the first time I really used Meshtastic.
Editing.
I edit on the plane all the time.
He told me initially he was editing, and then he's like, afterwards he's like, I had to stop editing. It was too.
I had to stop. It was too bumped.
Yeah.
I flew through Denver and I totally expected the announcement to come on. Ladies and gentlemen, now that the pilot has finished engraving his initials on the runway, welcome to Denver. Both of the landings were pretty rough.
Navy pilots.
For you.
I went through Denver too, and we had to delay because there was a tornado in Denver. So that was pretty scary.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And I actually had to. My flight got delayed so much I wasn't able to make my connecting flight, so I had to get it on a different flight. Luckily, I got it. It was kind of first time I've ever had to do that. Straight flights is the way to go, man.
Hey man, being out of Dallas, it's nonstop anywhere in the continental, even New Mexico and Canada. So I'm spoiled. Spoiled.
You are.
Yeah, Dallas
in
is
a number of
great,
ways.
great place to be in Dallas. Lights.
So
I jumped out
Ham.live,
first.
thank you, Sean, for the super chat from Ham.live. He's one of the sponsors of some of the videos I've been producing lately. If you do a net, doesn't matter where it is, HF net, GMRS net, All-Star, local VHF net, Ham.live is a free platform. This is not sponsored. I'm just telling you what it is. So
Cool.
if you go to Ham.live on any browser from any device, Android, iPhone, Mac OS, Windows, whatever, it's all browser based. Got a really cool and he's a really cool logging platform, and he's made a bunch of changes to it, upgrades to it lately. So it's pretty cool. If you guys do anything with nets at all, check that out. So appreciate the super chat, buddy. There's Robert. Okay, so Robert could tell us. And I see Cooley in the chat. He goes, yo, yeah, maybe it was Cooley flying over. He says he lives on a flight path, or maybe not. I thought it was Rob that said he was flying over. I don't have the story right, but Rob's here now. What's up, man? You muted yourself. He joins and he mutes himself.
I know, right?
You see where the...
There, got it.
There you go.
There it is.
What's up, man?
Yeah, I'm just coming out of my food coma. I just had a massive piece of beef and a huge
Yeah, he
potato.
showed us on our stream. Like,
oh yeah,
wow.
Yeah, it was good.
So
yeah, I had I got this text on Friday. I guess you guys are still talking about some of this kind of weird.
We were talking about you working Cooley via Meshtastic on an airplane. But
yeah,
yes,
that was flying over Ohio. That was in November last year. Yeah, so I had my first 915 megahertz QSO with Cooley, so that's cool.
That's good.
I need to send a QSL card for that.
Yeah, good
Right.
question. Yeah,
exactly.
But no, tell us the truck story too, because we were talking about that a minute ago.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here working on Friday, sitting at my desk, and I get a text, and it's from Hertz, and it says, "Are you going to drop off your car today? If there's a problem, please call this number." I'm like, what? I dropped the car off last Sunday.
Right.
And so I called the number, and of course you don't get to a human, you get
right
through the IVR system. And this is the vehicle recovery number.
Yeah.
You done stole it, son.
Oh,
we're looking for you.
Yeah. And so I get this this fella in a far off time zone asking me all these questions.
Far off time zone. Okay.
Do not make fun of my countrymen.
Are you going to return the car today?
Okay. All right. That's funny and all, but let's bypass that. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah. So I said, hey, look, I dropped the car off on Sunday, at the scheduled time. It's actually early from the scheduled time. It's been there since the 18th. And, so they took down all this information, asked me all this, asked me what color the truck was. I'm like, oh crap. I think it's gray. I had it for like 4 days.
You got the documents.
Robert, it was blue. Robert, it was blue, not gray.
I couldn't remember what color it was. I was surprised I remembered what it was.
Oh my goodness.
So I gave them all the info, and they said, okay, we'll reach out to the location and pass this information along, and you'll get an email to let you know that everything's okay, or is this a good number to call you back? And I said, yep. So it didn't take long. I mean, it was 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so. I get an email that's a bill.
Oh, no. $32,000 bill.
It was $163 plus tax, like
a little more
like
manageable.
$200, right? Which is
For what?
interesting because they always swipe your card, even though you pay for the rental and all the other crap. They swipe your card for $200 incidentals, right? If something happens. So this like charge was like almost $200, right? And so I'm like, what is this for? And it was a gas charge. They charged me for gas. Frank, what did we do before we dropped off the truck?
We stopped, got lunch, and filled up the truck.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I remember I had to get out of the car while you were in the line because I had to pee real bad, and I ran inside while y'all were going through the drive-through.
And after
Somebody
you
took
dropped
it on
it
a
off,
joyride.
somebody at Hertz went and got some pizzas with some buddies.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly
something like that happened.
They pulled a Ferris Bueller on that thing.
It sure did.
That's
right.
Yeah. So I call the number back, and they said, "Well, sir, this is vehicle recovery number. Your rental's been returned, so that's fine, but I'll have to pass you on to somebody else to dispute the charge." So here now I've got to prove that
Oh my goodness.
I dropped this thing off, right, with a full tank
With
of
gas in it.
Right.
Jeez
So they
whiz.
pass me along. So I get another I get another person on the phone that's
From a faraway time zone.
asking me all kinds of questions, right? Asking me tons of questions, but I'm ready for them, right? And I said, look, we stopped at Buttermilk Pike. We stopped at the Sunoco. This was one exit. This was in Crescent Springs, Kentucky.
Here is the
One
charge
exit
off of my
before.
credit card.
I sent that to them as well. I send all that stuff in an email. I mean, it's very obvious, right? I drove 146 miles. I paid $44 in gas. That slug gets 10 miles to the gallon. Everything checks out. All the math is there. Here it is, right? I lay it out so that, a child can understand it. And I get an email back. Well, we checked with the location. They said it came back half full, and we believe the location.
So Robert, this is the way to do it. This is we learned this the hard way with work, and Arnold put it in the chat too. Take pictures of the whole exterior, the whole interior, and the dash with how much gas it has and the mileage on it.
Always.
Today's newspaper.
When you pick it up.
Well, I think they're just
proof of
and
life.
when you drop it back off. That way,
I think they're just pissed off, right? Because I got the rental for $250, right? I feel so bad hearing what our Canadian friend paid when I paid $150 for the rental. But that's okay. I found the I actually had the executive support number for their headquarters. So I sent so I had the email and the phone number for that. So I left a nasty voicemail and sent a scathing email, and then I got a response on Saturday that said, "We're sorry for your trouble. We're going to review your situation on Tuesday, and we'll get you taken care of." So,
did you get that through your American Express card?
I did.
Yeah, I figured you did. I would contact them too and explain.
Well, the charge hasn't come through yet. As soon as the charge comes through, I'm going to dispute it, right? And they'll wipe it.
Yeah, they're good about that.
Isn't there a way you can preemptively block it? You can tell them you don't approve anything.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy, man.
All more reason to drive.
Another reason not to rent a car. There you go.
Exactly. Whenever I dropped it off, right, there was, the two guys that were working the thing. I don't know, Frank, if you remember, they're arguing about college football crap.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And so they're not even paying attention. We roll in and they're like, "You're good to go." I mean, the moral of the story is get your receipt. Before you walk away. Right.
Yep.
But you know what? I remember.
You want your receipt. I always say, "No, I don't need it." But
I usually do too. But now I will. Sheesh.
Always.
So
you know what I remember most from that trip though is we're halfway through Cincinnati. We're not there yet, but we're getting close. And Bill pops up from the back seat and goes, "Where are we going?" Cincinnati. He goes, oh crap.
That's right.
Scrap.
Oh, he was
still it.
Oh, he was expecting to fly out of Dayton.
So all his stuff he did for his jump seat 24 hours
Oh, my
ahead was
gosh.
for Dayton, and he had to change it all to Cincinnati.
No, but what was impressive is in like 30 minutes, he had it all squared away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bill's gone, man. Bill's gone.
I was talking to Bill. Yeah, I was talking to Bill. It's Bill 30.
Bill 30.
I was talking to Bill on Monday before Hamvention. I was like, "Hey, dude, when are you going to arrive?" And he was in North Carolina at home, and he's like, "Man, I'm ready to go now." He's like, I've got the week off. I'm ready to go now." He goes, "Just tell me when you're going to be there." I was like, "Well, I'll be there like Wednesday midday." He's like, "All right. I'm going to go to Arizona and check my mail, and then I'll meet you in Ohio on Wednesday." I'm like, dude, oh my God.
That's a long way around the barn.
And he did. When he got there that night, I was like, did you go? And he beat us there. He was there.
Did.
He was texting us. He got on All-Star, and he's like, "Can someone pick me up at the Buffalo Wild Wings?" And Tim did. And
he was drunk
like,
at the B-dubs when I got there.
And I'm like, and when we got there later that evening, I'm like,
mode.
"Did you go to Arizona yesterday?" "Oh, I went and checked my mail." Yeah. I'm like, "Oh my God, dude."
Bro's
awesome.
got a destination PO box.
Right? Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Frank, what I
Talk
thought
about
you
a
were
mail
gonna
run.
say-
That just
Yeah.
most of us walk to our mailbox. Some people have to take an ATV or a small vehicle to their mailbox. No. Bill has to fly.
Bill has to
Yeah,
fly.
I have to drive
Everywhere.
into town to get my PO box.
And
Like
create-
15 minutes, but
Yeah, same.
And create carbon dioxide emissions while doing so. Oh,
Frank,
man.
people are going to come after him.
All right, we had some new people join us. Josh, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, hey, what's up? No, I'm back live. Things are well. What am I doing? Jesus, I don't know. I live streamed last night. Went great. I'm working through the trials and tribulations of the FTX One so far.
Yeah.
It sounds fantastic. There you go, everybody. There's the review. Sounds great. Less filling.
It does.
But there's some firmware updates I think we're going to expect to see in a little bit of time here. So I'm excited. Yeah.
So we
that's where I'm at.
were talking about that at the beginning of the stream, and mine seems to. I took it to a POTA park yesterday, and I'll say this again because Joe Brett's down there too, so I'm gonna give him the floor here in a minute. My first ever contact. I called CQ POTA twice, and I hear Joe Brett come back to me, so I'm like, all right, this radio is officially christened. But tell me if yours. You have the Optima, so tell me if yours does this. The power meter. When you're talking in the microphone, sometimes it'll go to like halfway, and sometimes it'll drop and just like not move at all. But
So
I think it's transmitting. I think it's just the meter that's malfunctioned.
So I got a couple of things that have been happening. One, if you set the meter to comp for compression, ALC, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've seen it do a wild swing and absolutely peg it, but then it settles back down. It's like, okay, is that right? Is it wrong? Like it settles down to a little bit less than 10, which is what the manual recommends, and so that's how I've been setting it. But I've seen when I go into the menu that just the meter, so upper left corner, will start like flickering in and out, almost like you're losing just that portion of the screen, that meter, which is really weird.
I haven't seen that.
And then during the POTA, now I got to say it performed well in the POTA.
Right.
I was running just a vertical on 15 meters, and I was able to get to the North Pole, Alaska actually twice, and New Zealand at around 6 p.m. my time, which is fantastic. That's really good. But not all great. A number of people have reached out to me, and I experienced the same thing live. 40 meters when you're on the Optima seems to be having a problem. Like it'll actually, what appears to be folding back to no modulation, nothing coming out of the radio right after key up. And I had I thought it was a decently okay matched antenna, but yeah, it was just like a no-go on 40. So I've got to do some more experimentation, but there could be an issue with at least 40 meters on the Optima. So
I didn't get on 40 with mine. I tried mine on 15 and on 20, and I didn't have that problem. Yeah, someone had mentioned at the beginning of the stream that you were having that problem. So I got to test mine on 40 now.
Yeah, well, and remember, you've got the field, right?
No, I've got the Optima.
Oh, you do? Okay, so then try it on
40
40 and see how it goes, because it was.
So I had the field. I had the Optima delivered to me here at the Galveston house on Thursday. It arrived.
Nice.
And everything looks and feels and is great. In fact, I have the Field and the Optima right now. I got to send the Field radio.
Oh,
back,
that's right.
Gigaparts.
Yeah, you got.
And,
yeah.
And I did a video comparing the two because people were in the comments were saying, "Oh, the Optima doesn't come with the battery." Yes, it does. Someone made the dumbass comment that you couldn't connect the microphone to the head of the radio, and I'm like, how the hell are you going to sell a Field radio that you can't connect a microphone? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? So I did a comparison. I was like, we're going to open the box on the Field, and we're going to open the box on the Optima, just kind of compare things. So I got that here, but the power meter seemed wonky. It's just, and Joe Brett, after I worked him, he sent me a video of the next 2 or 3 stations I worked, and it sounded fine. So it was outputting power, it was working. But and the 15-meter band that day was not up. It was very QSB. But I mean, the radio itself was working, but I'm like, man, that meter just doesn't look right. So I'm thinking firmware up. And if I remember correctly, when the FTDX10 first came out, and I didn't have one when it first came out, but there was a pretty big firmware update come out pretty early on that radio that fixed a lot of kind of like the quirks of it. Yeah. So I suspect this one is going to be the same way. So we'll see, I guess.
This feels like the Zygu and stuff like that, like you're waiting for the firmware updates and all that, like your beta testers.
Except that Yaesu actually releases firmware updates, unlike Zygu, so I don't know.
That's a good point.
No, Zygu had a ton of updates for the G90.
They did for the G90, yeah. They dropped the 6100 for like 2 years and then finally made an update for it. But for the G90 it did,
Yeah, I was thinking G90.
Yeah.
Were these issues you guys were having the Optima? Did you try the Field as well and get the same thing, or do you think it's something with the Optima?
The 40 on the Field is not impacted in the least. It seems to be only
it's something with the Optima.
Yeah, so it's an amp. It's an amp. So maybe
other issues.
Yeah. Mike has gremlins in his radio.
There is a problem with APRS that will be documented by the other Jason, KM4ACK. So look forward to that as well. APRS is kind of not an scene either.
I haven't even.
Josh, I had a quick question for you, Josh.
Gremlins on a Yaesu radio? Say it ain't so.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, Carlos.
No, I asked Jason this question earlier, Josh. Did the radio just by itself, how hot did it get to require? Do you think it needed the fan attachment?
I haven't tested that yet for FT8 because I ran FT8 through a 50-watt amplifier because I was trying to get ready for a travel thing I got coming up, and I can't take the Optima. The Optima is just too big to put in a suitcase. I didn't check the temperature. No, the Optima is a big one. I don't know that I'd put that on a rollerboard or a backpack.
It's smaller than the FTDX10.
It's a big old girl.
No,
it is, but I don't know that I'd put that in a suitcase either. So
Did you see the picture I put on Instagram of the guy carrying the backpack with the full box of the FTDX10?
Yeah, I did.
Dude, I saw it. He was at the POTA booth on like Saturday. I was like, I got to get a picture of that dude. He's like,
dude's got plans, man. He's got plans.
Yeah. So I'm like, can you send that to Carlos and let him jump out of the plane with that thing on his back? That'd be cool if you could do that. So
the other thing we talked about last night is no digital modes yet. If you remember when the 705 came out, we all just told the 705 it was a 7300.
Yes.
By changing the CI5 ID. You can't really do that with the Yaesus. At least we haven't figured out a way to do it. I had a number of people that kind of had a speculation that you could use like rig. What is it? Rig controller, FL rig to monkey around with it a little bit and maybe get it to function. I have not done that yet, and so I don't know that it's there. But also, Ham.live does not contain the configuration yet for the FTX, so we got to wait a little longer for digital.
That's a drawback of Ham.live though, because the radio's so new, and that happens with all new radios. So I just want to
not a complaint, just what it is.
Right.
I want my FT8 now.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering about this 40-meter thing. Like, how many people have tried to compare the FTX1 versus another Yaesu radio in exactly the same position? It's got to keep in mind 40 meters, 30 meters, 80 meters, 60. These are prime bands for RF feedback to do funky things with the front end of radios that are maybe not grounded or shielded properly or whatever. And that's as much putting it on the operator as it is on the manufacturer, to be clear.
It's a good point. My FT897 has problems on 40 sometimes with that very reason.
Yep.
This wasn't like the radio gave me a high SWR reading and then we saw power fold back. This was like it was functioning what I thought was fine and then had no output, no modulation, audio completely dead. So
Vince, like I said towards the beginning, during Josh's live stream on the Starlink, because I was able to listen on 40, I would hear CQ and that was it. But he would keep going CQ, CQ, CQ POTA, you know, and all it would be CQ and that's it.
And I had dual channel, so you could see the radio as I was live. You could see it, and it was just like, hey, everything's fine.
Well, so I'm wondering if the RF was getting in, like due to poor grounding or whatever, grounding shielding, RF getting into the circuitry and causing it to go wonky donkey.
Hey, Josh.
That's bad.
Did your oven turn
that's
on?
true, that's bad design.
I was in the
Josh,
field.
Well, that could be as much about poor shack grounding as bad design, Jason.
I was hanging off the back of my truck in a park.
Yeah,
it wasn't a shack.
Josh, did your oven turn on?
Aluminum truck.
I was in my truck, man. What
Your
are you talking? I don't have an oven in
doorbell?
my truck.
Did somebody else's oven turn on?
Yeah, absolutely.
All
the planes. I was right outside LAX, their takeoff area. All the planes were getting high SWR warnings as the pilots were taking off because I was blasting them with stray RF.
Did the runway lights turn off?
Yeah.
Did you have an ice cream man come up next to you?
No.
Okay.
Not this time anyway.
Because that's what killed us. When the ice cream man killed us yesterday. So
yeah.
But, yeah.
No, Josh, I know what it is. The reason why the planes were so loud on the live stream is the 40-meter band brought them down as they were trying to take off.
That's right. They were stuttering to get off and up and out because 40 was taxing them. Yeah.
All right, let's give Carlos the floor because I know he's itching over there.
Oh no.
Because we're talking about Yezu, and it's it's possible that Carlos has some opinions about Yezu.
Really?
So, yeah.
No, listen, opinions, yes. Speculation, no, because, I don't want John on my butt.
Oh, dude, this is my channel, dude. We can do speculation all day long on my channel. It's totally cool. Come on, man.
I'm just being a smart aleck. No,
John was invited to this stream and he didn't show up, so it's his fault. Go for it.
I wonder why.
There you go. No, it's you guys all in here know that I'm selling my FTM 500 because of the gremlins, and it's sad because I really like that radio when it's working. It's amazing, but there's gremlins in it, and I'm like, I gotta get rid of this thing. It's just driving me insane. Hopefully everybody had a great week. I'm obviously getting a little late. I had too much yard work that I had to catch up from being away 2 weekends in a row. But has anyone talked about how stellarly and amazingly the Meshtastic network behaved?
We haven't really touched on that quite yet on this live stream, but yeah, that's a good topic discussion.
I shot my video on a retrospective of how well it did, and I'll have more details on my video. But it worked great, no issues.
I don't know. I'm going to have a counterpoint to that video, Josh.
The counterpoise.
Counterpoint. Yeah, counterpoint.
You had a problem? I didn't have any problems.
Well, I thought it was curious.
Okay, now I know what Robert's going to say, and I agree with him on this. So go ahead. Yeah,
okay.
Please. Yeah, this is a good point.
I think some of the settings were too aggressive. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I certainly would see where people would drop out of the network and then come back in like 3-4 times a day.
Okay.
And
New node found.
My phone was blowing up with new nodes found that had been there.
Well, if I was one of them, my battery cable was loose, so my bad.
No,
that's hilarious.
Not even you can cause that much chaos, Joe. No. Go ahead, Robert. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah. So it was, just tons and tons of traffic, which I don't know if you guys paid attention to what your battery life was compared to your normal battery life, but my battery life was terrible.
Really?
Yeah, because of all this activity, right?
It's really good.
Sure, that makes sense.
Great.
My T1000 lasted like 2.5 days on a single charge. Now, Robert, I do have some information that may have something to do with what you're talking about here, and that is, I brought a G2, a station G2. I brought a rack West Block 4631, I think is what they're called.
Mhm.
And I was going to bring my HealthTech V3. My nephew told me that he wanted to participate, so I sent my HealthTech V3 to him, and the HealthTech was up, down, up, down, up, down. My T1000 had no problems, and my RAS Wickblock had no problems. So I think it has to do with a device or device type that may have been causing that up down issue on the network. But I don't think it was the
Oh,
firmware.
that's
I think it was the
interesting.
devices. My
Yeah.
nephew said, like, it's connected, it's disconnected, it's connected, it's disconnected, even on his phone. And when you check the battery and it's fine. And it was an issue with
But that was a
the
HealthTech
HealthTech.
V3, right?
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
I can't speak about anything else because the only
Yeah.
data points that I have are the HealthTech V3, the RackWest Block 4631, and the Station G2 and the T1000. I bought the T1000 there. T1000 lasted 2.5 days before I even charged it. Still had 20% left. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna take it in the air. I'm trying to get a connection, from the parachute. So I want to make sure that I have a full battery. That way there's no power limiting built into the system whatsoever. But the only one that that I know had issues was the HealthTech V3.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Good
running
question in the chat. Were you in client mute, Robert?
No, I was in client mode.
Ah, okay. That might be why.
Yeah, I was in client mode. I was running the HealthTech T114, the new NRF chip.
Yeah, that thing's great,
one.
by the way.
Yeah, I really like that.
That lasted
then-
all weekend for me. I got off the plane and turned it on.
Wow, I had to recharge mine every day.
Not once did I have to recharge this. I think
Wow.
it's because, you know why? It's because you were in client mode. If you so
But that was
you,
that was the default.
But that was the test.
I understand.
That was
but
the test, though.
I understand. Wait. It wasn't a test. I like when I made my video on the firmware, I told everybody to turn client to client mute because.
Well, why would you do that if you're only carrying one node on you?
Well, I'll explain. So as Robert found, because he was in client mode, when a client receives a node packet, let's just call it a packet, it retransmits that and takes off one of the hops. So your radio, your Meshtastic was basically functioning as a repeater versus mine spent most of its time just functioning as a receiver because it would not retransmit. So when you're local like that and we're all line of sight, you only need a couple of people that are running client mode and maybe just like one repeater up high if you've got that. But even then, like you don't really need to run client mute or client in most cases when you're in a dense mesh environment.
Well,
it works just fine.
So I ran my T1000 all weekend, and it constantly had new node, new node, new node, new node. Now, it lasted all day. I charged mine every night just because I put my phone on the charger every night. I put my D75 on the charger. I'm just used to doing that. So mine never died, but I never gave it the opportunity to die. So and the T1000, and I had mine in client mode the whole time because that's I understand the client mute thing because last year I had like 3 of them carrying around in my bag the whole time. I would put those on client mute, but I didn't do that this time. I had one node with me on client mute. I bought that NRF chip from Spec 5, but I didn't ever flash it. I just took it back to the trailer and left it there. So the T1000 I was running the whole time was on client mode, and it never died, but it was like constantly like new node found, new node found, new node found. And I'm like, yeah, what Robert's saying is because the area we were in was so large, especially when we'd go off campus and then come back, and it would find these new nodes that had been found already, that been part of the network already. So I mean, I think the total number of nodes I saw was like 230 or 260 for the whole weekend, and there was probably twice that. Because people were going outside of the area and disconnecting.
Well, couple questions. How long does a node have to be out of the mesh before it is, before it would be re-registered as a new node in the mesh? That would be the one. And was anybody there from Meshtastic that was capturing the telemetry of all of this going on so they could analyze it?
I got my logs and I sent it to them. I've already talked to the Meshtastic folks. We're going to do a video in the future on kind of like the background of the firmware because it was a special firmware, right, with the little ham logo. It was really, really slick. Yeah, so I sent a lot of my logs to them. I've already packed that up. So I ran 2. I ran my LilyGo T-Deck that's above my head and then the little green guy from Moosey Works. And both of them worked all weekend, but they were all in client mute. That was the only thing that I changed on the firmware. Now, I will say, regardless of whether you run in client or client mute, the T1000s were very popular this weekend because so many people purchased them. You must put that into client mute. I highly recommend that because it's not a fantastic transmitter to begin with.
No,
so the fact that a packet might hit you and then you strip a hop off of it, you're like stripping an APRS hop off of something and you're putting it into a dummy load. So it's like the guy who wanted to get out, you just lost one of your hops on a dummy load because it's not a fantastic transmitter.
Yeah.
So
you're correct. It's not, but the problem was the receive. Because they would drop out of receive range, then come back into receive range. And the T1000 actually has an excellent receiver.
Yeah, so I think the short turbo is too fast.
I think the short turbo is too fast. That's what I think too.
It's got the shortest range. I think a medium fast is probably a better fit.
I will
It'd be an
ask
interesting experiment.
Yeah, I'll ask the developers on this, but I will tell you, I had notifications turned off on Meshtastic. I don't really want to be notified other than if I get a direct message, and that's pretty much it.
It did kill my watch. The notification from Meshtastic killed my watch. My watch will last 2 to 3 days.
Same.
And I had to charge my watch almost like there was like one evening I charged it that night, and by dinner time that night it was dead. I'm like,
if you had an Apple Watch, that would be a problem.
No, Apple Watch battery sucks. I've got one. It sucks. I'm
not going to use the type of language I'm going to say to you right now, Tim, on my own stream. Invite me onto your stream, and I'll cuss you out. No, you're
As
wrong.
an Apple evangelist, the Apple Watch is not good.
Yeah. No. I mean, this watch will last 2 to 3 days normally.
That's great.
And it's I killed it by dinner time maybe 2 days that time.
Now
it was just notification run one after the other. So
on your regular Meshtasticing that you do at home, you can leave your notifications on, of course. But if you go to an area like Hamvention, it's chaotic. There's 300 something nodes that are all doing their things. It's wild.
There were so many of those T1000s just going off.
So the notifications didn't. I wanted to hear the notifications of people messaging, because people would get up in the morning and they, welcome to day 1, welcome to day 2.
Sure.
And we'd be I didn't like the notifications of new node found.
I turned that off.
There was not an option in mine. Robert and I both have Android. Robert and I both have Android, and he had more options in his Android app than I did for some reason.
Yeah, I want to turn off everything unless somebody sends me a message directly.
That's
but I can't do that in iOS.
Oh, see, I don't know. I didn't want the direct messages on. I wanted the group chat. I wanted the node chat and the swap fest chat or whatever it was called in the ham. So, I liked reading through all those and responding to some of the things.
So it's right here. So if you go to external notification and you just turn all of that off and just see the alert right there that says alert when receiving a message.
I don't have that.
I turned it off right now. Oh,
he's on
that's
an
right.
Available. It's not
available.
It's not available.
Because you have a different Android device than Rob did, right?
Well, yeah, we're both on the same version of the software, though. Same version of the app, though.
That's
Josh,
crazy.
where was that?
That is a question for Discord. Under external notification and settings.
You just said that. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna say this out loud. Hold on, Tim. You'll like this, okay?
Yep.
I'm gonna say this out loud, okay? So everyone record.
Record button.
The Meshtastic iPhone app is much more robust and has a lot more features in it than the Android app
It does. Yeah, the development team's bigger.
But Robert and I both have Android, and we both were running the same exact version of the Android app, and he had more options on his app than I did. Go figure.
So, because
it's like the Lotus Notes developers got in there, and it's like the Lotus Notes developers got in there and started writing.
Oh no, not that!
Because you can have Lotus Notes 1.5, you could have it on 5 different computers and it would look totally different. Same version.
Time.
It was terrible. Oh my God.
I will give a bit of a spoiler. So I've got that video coming. This is what it looks like. Oh yeah, the green screen. This is what it looks like when you're flying home and you leave your Meshtastic on and you're talking to people the whole way from Minnesota. I was
makes the phone translucent.
I was literally talking to people and meshing from the plane. I literally just shoved it in the window and closed the shade on it.
Oh yeah.
And that green thing, that green Meshtastic right there kicks butt. It was great. Yeah. I loved it.
I just ordered one of those.
They're great.
After
really
I saw
good.
yours, I ordered one. I want to play with that. That's the MusicWorks.
It's the MusicWorks, and it's the new Heltec, the T114. Did you call it? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a T114.
It's good. And here's the best part. it performs like a whiz block, and the battery life is like a whiz block. It's not like the V3 where it sucks the battery dry.
Yeah.
That battery lasts forever. It was great.
Well, let me say this: while it was killing everybody's iPhones in Dayton, I'm one of the first people in the country that was able to get one of the Spec 5 Trekker Deltas.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't charge the doggone thing one single time.
No, that one lasts forever.
Oh, it ran for.
That's what I was running.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was running. That was getting killed.
Were you client mute, Ham Shack, or were you client?
I was client.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
I wonder if I've got a funky device or something.
I will say the one thing that we did have to do with the firmware was do a reboot. We had to do a reset of settings. Even if you did a full flash, full erase, full flash, I would still tell people to just go in and do a factory reset real fast and then reset it up. And it seems like once they did that, it calmed the whole thing down and it worked perfectly.
Some of them had to flash their device twice. Like at least 2 or 3 people came up to me and said, "I just flashed the Hamvention firmware," and you pull it up and the channels aren't there. I'm like, "Flash it again." And they would do that,
again,
and then it would work. So yeah.
Yeah, you got to think about Robert's antenna height too.
I was the same way.
He's got an advantage on all of us. Yeah. I bet
Robert, you were just picking up more nodes than everybody else.
Robert, Robert has an advantage over most of us.
We need to get Robert one of those hard hats with the antenna on top of it.
Yes.
There you go.
And then take him to a ARRL VHF contest one weekend.
Well, no, we use him as the crossband repeater.
Yeah, just stand out there
the crossband repeater on him.
So yeah. Yeah.
So Robert, I think I
gosh.
know what your problem was. You were using the FTX1 Meshtastic, not
Oh
the
my
regular
gosh.
Meshtastic.
We're not going there.
My only issue with Meshtastic was they ran out of the sense caps after I realized I could have bought one.
Dude, those things were crazy popular.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you.
Well, Dave has joined us, so I'm going to let him talk here in a minute. But
which,
Joe Brett was first. I'm going to let Joe Brett talk for a minute. So because he is my official first contact on my FTX one.
I'm blessed that new radio, man. I feel so good. K5YVY. How y'all doing?
What's up, buddy?
Doing good. What, you got hail in the background? What's going on over there?
Oh, that's just light rain on the shack roof.
Oh, that's right. You got the tin.
Right. So I did. That's light rain. That's the sprinkle outside, sir. But besides that, I'm just doing Mississippi things on a holiday weekend. I've got the rain on the roof. I've got
a little drummer boy in the background.
Smoking egg to brew. And we're going to do this real quick because they're, kind of ticky about. Uh-oh. See how that's how ticky they are about it. I'm watching NASCAR on the other screen, but NASCAR, don't want you to. So anyway,
they
don't have to worry about that copyright strike, Jason. So they blanked it out.
There you go.
I need to get you to watch F1. It's a real racing.
Race. No. That's science racing.
Go fly a balloon.
Go fly a balloon, man.
Sheesh. That's good.
Had a good time at Hamvention. I was so lazy, so I stayed with the car guys, the coffee radio boys.
Close.
Yeah, and
I can.
Friday,
Joe,
I sit at their place. Go ahead, Charlie.
I can vouch for the fact that you were lazy. I went early at the flea market.
Yeah.
And then I went again later, and you were sitting in the same exact spot.
if you didn't see me at Hamvention, it's because you didn't come by the Coffee and Ham radio booth. Not one time on Friday, anyway. Saturday, after the storms come through, it was cool enough that I didn't even have to use the hydration pack but 2 or 3 times walking the boneyard. It was nice.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah, Friday, I had a few things set up on the table for sale, so I didn't want to just leave it there. I should have. Chuck sold some of it twice what I was asking, but
oh my goodness.
Yeah. Freddie discounted one of them. Like I had to sell it $200 less than what I wanted.
Knock with my hands and knock stuff over.
So the moral of the story is to take Freddie Mac to the boneyard with you and just have him knock stuff over. Yeah. Get it for a discount. And take you to the Motorola booth next time, Freddie.
We'd take a wrong turn no matter where we go.
So Freddie, just knock over all the Motorola's and Kenwoods and Icons. Yeah. The commercial ones along the way.
They love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you break the concrete underneath it.
If he was knocking over the Motorola's, he'd have definitely have a job on his hand in the boneyard. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Gonna catch some hands.
There's tons of Motorola's in the boneyard every year.
Yeah.
For as popular as those things are, everybody's trying to sell them after they buy them.
I'm pretty sure it's this.
Not me.
I'm pretty sure it's the same
Carlos.
guys bringing the same radios every year and asking too much for them, and then taking them home so they can bring them back next year.
So Carlos, I've said it
Low,
before. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If I could take home every single commercial radio that's in the boneyard, I would. All my friends would love to have them.
I will say, if you come out to Hamvention or Huntsville and you see Shane, right? Shane from California. What is it? K6
Redhead Shane.
Ginger
GX.
Shane.
Follow him around. If you're interested in a Motorola radio, just ask him to help you recommend a radio. He will find you the hidden gem of Motorola radios in the in the swaps. He's very good at that.
I was surprised not to see him there this year. Shane is like a staple.
Right.
Yeah, he couldn't make it out this year. He
I
was
thought
bummed
he was
out.
going to be on the chat tonight. He texted me about 4 hours ago and asked me what time the live stream was tonight, and asked me if the Zoom link was the same. And I said yes, I expected him to be here tonight.
I'll text him right now. Where you at? Where you at, bro?
Where you at?
He was texting me today. He was talking to me today.
I went around the boneyard with Rex Harper.
Oh, that'd be neat.
Oh my gosh!
Did he bring his pocket pal tester?
He didn't, but he is brutal. He is brutal to people. He like people like, hey, you want to sell? He was like bait and switching them back and stuff. And
oh my
he had so much knowledge about all the old stuff. I look at something when I was going through there, the last 2 years. I look at something, I'm like, I don't know what that is. And he go, oh, that was back in 1920. This was that and the other, and blah blah. He's like, tell me all about it. It was amazing, and all the deals and why they were good and stuff. I ended up.
Bro's got 1970s prices burned into his memory, so he's
exactly
a reference. Yeah.
Yep.
I saw Gary, Ham Radio Now.
Yeah.
I met him for the first time, and he spent the entire time busting my balls. That's what he did.
That's what Gary does. Yeah.
The whole time, man. He was all over me.
Josh, has Shane gotten married yet? I know. I know.
No, it's covered. It's covered. Yeah.
Okay. Ed was asking.
I met Gary for the first time too, and he put me on the show and he was asking me the ham question. I was like, "Hey, how did you turn this around here?"
Yeah. Gary's he's a character for sure. So Dave has joined us. KB5U2Y. What's up, buddy? Dave was the Seed Studio representative at.
Dave is the pusher. He is the pusher of the T1000s right here.
That's right. So, including this guy right here.
I got mine here too.
The indicator.
Is anybody having problems with that? It's like slow refresh rate. Was there a slow refresh rate thing going on with those guys?
That?
There was
Meshtastic node.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah,
go ahead, Dave.
Wasn't sure. It's the first time I've used this camera and mic. We were seeing the slow refresh rate on the Hamvention firmware on every one of the indicators that we flashed for it. It was very laggy, but flash it back over the original firmware and it was fine.
Okay.
So it wasn't the device itself, it was the actual firmware. But we had a great show. I was the pusher of the T1000. We sold out.
Dave's the only vendor I know at Hamvention that would leave his booth and come find you to show you this product and go back to his booth with money in his hand, man. I think that was great.
That's good.
It's a guy that knows sales.
Awesome. I walked away a couple of times. He'd come back with a wad of cash going, here you go. So, all right. But playing with one of the Show devices tonight, the ones that are supposed to get delivered to Hamvention.
That's the colon carry model, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one you pack in your prison wallet?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's how you carry it into prison. You get off-grid communication from the slayer.
That's right. Yeah.
We sold out Friday by lunch on the T1000.
Oh,
wow.
Crazy.
That's surprising, man.
I can't. Speaking of the indicator, if anyone has the driver for Windows, and don't ask me to use a Mac, I'm not going to do it. But Windows 11 does not recognize this thing. So
that may be it, because I don't have a Windows 11 PC to try it on. Windows 10 picks it up just fine.
Well, I can take it. I've got Windows 10 at home, so maybe I'll take it home and do Windows 10 when I'm done here in Galveston. And if that's fine, then fine. But Windows 11 doesn't recognize it. I emailed the support at Seed Studios and asked them if they had a Windows 11 driver. They're presumably not in on the weekend, so maybe I'll hear from them tomorrow. I don't know.
They should, and I've got a special Discord with them, and I'll put
Okay.
In there to see if they have one, and I might go a little bit.
I'm happy to bitch about Windows most days, but generally speaking, if you plug a new device in, 95% of the time the drivers pop up. It's usually, Windows 95 was not that way, but today in 2025, generally speaking, drivers are not an issue. So it's kind of weird.
I
that
don't
read that.
I don't ever have to load drivers in my Mac.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, but
I'm
you got to
kinda
wear that.
surprised.
You got to wear that pink tutu that's shipped in every Apple computer case, and I'm not.
No, they stopped doing that a decade ago, man. Where have you been?
Did they? See, I haven't kept up.
Well, thank you.
My bad.
Jason,
My bad.
it was
For
a
the
rainbow.
environment.
It was a rainbow tutu for
It
the
was
whole
a rainbow
logo,
tutu,
right?
yeah, yeah,
I haven't
but
done
I'm
that
kind
since
of
I was
surprised.
41.
You don't have a Linux, like a cheap Linux laptop, Jason?
Not
I think you'd
not
probably,
here in
yeah,
Galveston.
that'd be helpful. That'd be helpful.
Not here in Galveston.
Oh,
I have
okay,
one
okay.
at home. Sure. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. If I had my way, I would drop everything and go to Ubuntu. But
you could probably flash it from your Android phone.
Oh, Shane's in the chat now. Apparently, he's hanging out with
texted
the
him.
fiance.
I did learn a lot from
Smart man.
Hamvention.
Smart man.
We're
Oh,
starting to
nice.
the cases.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I can say about the sense cap indicator that I had issues setting it up with is the frequency slot was kind of jacked up. It took me a while to get it landed in the right place.
Yeah. How early did you get the firmware? Because there was an update on the firmware where the first run that they did actually had the wrong slot.
I think I did it this past Monday afternoon.
For regular Meshtastic or for the Hamvention version?
No, I never put the Hamvention one on there.
Oh, you shouldn't have a problem then.
It shouldn't have a problem at all.
Yeah, it was actually Randy up north who found the bug in the Hamvention firmware, and he contacted me and said, "Hey, I think I got a problem with the T-decks. The T-decks were the ones that had the problem, and they fixed it, and we had to get everybody to reset everything. It was kind of not great, but we got it sorted out."
Jason's not here, so who wants to say some choice words?
I will say shout out to Mike N2MAK for the best sticker at Hamvention, which is on the right of my screen here.
Yes.
That is the sticker that I got
Absolutely.
at Hamvention, and I've got it on my live stream area just so I can keep showing it up. And he commented, he's in the chat, so shout out to you, bud. Best sticker.
That's
I actually have
awesome.
another good one that I'm not sharing because it's a whole different thing.
Hey, Mike was also the beer delivery man extraordinaire. He brought everybody
Yeah.
like specialized beer. That was just so cool.
I was
You know
enjoying
what?
some Southern Tier last night.
I got some Puerto Rican beer from Mike, which the only time I get to drink this beer is when I'm at home in Puerto Rico, and it was one of those, man, talk about hitting me in the feels. It's not the greatest beer in the world, it's not, but man,
But it tastes like home.
Exactly, tastes like home.
You didn't drink them all, so I took a couple home with me.
Well, I failed to get back to the trailer to pick them up and take them home, and I also forgot my chair, but Mike picked it up for me. Anyway,
Oh, was that your chair, that Mac, whatever it was?
Yes.
Okay, we were wondering whose that was.
That was a nice chair.
That was a really nice chair. It was about to come home with us.
I am glad that NAYO picked it up for me because I paid $70 for that chair. I don't want to lose it.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh,
That's why I rock that Harbor Freight chair, man. They're like 25 or 30 bucks.
And you don't
man.
cycle them at the end of the show.
Did you guys use the one that Robert had? That thing was like wicked comfortable.
Well, that's the Big Agnes one, right, Robert?
Yeah, dude, that thing was
yeah,
awesome.
the big
The salmon one?
Agnes.
Good one.
Yeah, or the trout. Yeah.
All right, Freddie,
I like
it's done.
For that
Talking about
Ooh,
talking
nice.
about chairs. What are you talking about now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
Chairs.
talking about chairs.
For medicinal purposes, right?
I'm
Freddie?
gonna say that. I'm gonna say this now. Hamvention 2026. People bring freaking chairs. Oh my god.
Bring
The chairs.
Yeah.
We said that. Bring your chair and
I'm
take
gonna
it
have
home.
to. Frank, I'm gonna need you to drive next. I'm gonna need you to get a truck and drive next year and just put like 35,
bring
40
chairs.
chairs in the back of the truck.
Plenty
I
of
think what we need to do is get a little hut and set it there in the camping area, put a lock on it, and load it up with chairs.
So
There you
Like
go.
a shed? We're going to go get a
Yeah.
shed from
Yeah.
the Lowe's?
Just leave it there. Leave it
Jason,
there all
right
year.
there. Full of
I would
chairs.
think the fairground would have, you know how like schools have all those chairs that you can stack up? Like
That
you would
fold
think
out.
a
Right.
big fairground like that would have Maybe we'll have to get with the event coordinators and just get like
There'll
100
be
chairs at the campground.
2.5 times the price to rent them as they are to buy them.
Right.
We needed some extra tables in our booth. It was far cheaper for Vince to run to Walmart and pick up tables and abandon them or give them away at the end of the show than it
They're
was
all in
to
my
rent
garage,
them.
Vince.
Totally.
They're all in my garage, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
I don't
bleachers.
doubt that at all.
I'm thinking
But hey,
bleachers next year.
Bleachers.
Yeah, contact the show and have them put bleachers in front of Jason's trailer, just facing the trailer, and then everybody can just assemble.
Or we just go to the bleachers at the outfield and we just hang out
the
there.
hot sun.
I'm gonna get an email
No,
from
it's
them
covered.
next year and say, "You've got too many friends. Y'all need to go somewhere else."
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
1,800 noise complaints, Jason, in your particular trailer situation.
Right.
Jason, if I were you, I'd reach out to one of the vendors, one of the retailers, and have them sponsor the
chairs.
spot. Sponsor it with tents, like one of those nice DX
I wonder
engineering
if I
tents that
can. I
Rob
wonder
has.
if I can reach out to 230 and get them to sponsor chairs.
Hey,
there you go.
Chairs.
Jason, think about this. Think about
There
this.
might
Just
be one
like-
or two missing. I'll take one.
Just like
Yeah, no doubt.
NASCAR, just like NASCAR does, like the logos on the cars, chairs in front of your camp area,
Right.
sponsored chairs.
Yeah.
Your name
Yes.
here, right?
Yesu the chair.
That's
Yesu the
exactly
chair.
what we need to do.
The radio, the chair. Amazing,
Yesu
Mike.
the
That was
chair.
Radio into
perfect.
NASCAR.
Yesu the chair. You nailed
Josh.
it. That was great.
That was good.
Josh,
yeah,
jokes
Yesu the chair,
aside,
that's good.
I'm actively trying to work, in the
That's
Vinci
smart.
Resolve so that I can put a logo there that says your logo here and
That's
rent
smart.
it out per jump.
Yes.
heck
That's
yeah.
smart.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love seeing the entrepreneurial thinking that you guys are doing. This is great.
So,
it's not ignore all the commenters that say you just want to make money. Oh wait,
Darn
You know,
straight.
I want to be
keep
able
doing
to pay
it.
for these trips.
yeah.
I just
Yeah,
want to
right.
break even, man. I just don't
No
want to be in the
joke.
hole is all.
Good luck with that.
Jody
So-
has it right
Breaking
though.
even would be nice.
Xenia Chair Rentals. Get a wedding company somewhere around there. Get all the chairs in the world.
Yeah, but all those chairs
Sounds
suck.
expensive.
Oh,
They do.
you
those
can
hard
rent a
plastic
chair.
chairs.
You can
Oh,
rent
yeah.
a chair anytime you want at Xenia. It just has a motor and wheels. If you want to rent one of those, you can.
Yeah.
Anyone can rent one of those. They're available.
Well, it
We
certainly
should
makes it
totally-
easy to
we should all
return
do
them if they're
that.
We
motorized.
should all do that,
all
and
do
we should have jousting wars with it.
No, we talked about this
Absolutely.
last year about the
Next
joust,
year.
but
Yeah.
the real challenge was, I think the joke that we came up last year after Hamvention was everybody rent a chair and then rig it like a mobile station. So
Yeah.
get
Yes.
as many
Yes.
antennas and as many radios and cram them
Yep.
on there as you
Yep.
can.
I'll have
and
an
then we
all-star note
compete.
on mine.
So instead of like a Go Box competition, it's a Go Scooter competition.
Right.
That's the
Great
jam.
idea,
That-
actually.
What
There's
Josh
gotta
is
be at
saying is
least
he
one
wants us to
scooter
prepare
racer
for
on
when
the
we
track.
have gout and we're 80.
Oh,
That's what he's saying.
You know we're all going to be doing this. This is what we're going to be doing.
Might as well
I
get
have-
ready now.
I would do this if we were to do this challenge as a group. I would totally do it. But I have made a vow to myself: I will never be in one of those scooters, unless
You
I
don't have a choice.
Unless I no. All you do is eat right and you exercise. Unless I
Not
jump
if you
out of an
break a
airplane-
leg.
Unless I jump out of
Have a
an airplane
stroke.
with Carlos at some point and he breaks both of
That's
my
true.
legs, then I would do
Listen,
it. Yeah.
Jason, I'm not going to break your
Your
legs.
chair.
If anything, gravity breaks your legs, not me.
Well, I mean, you're no, like if something goes wrong, I fully recognize that I'm beneath you, and you're gonna be like, all right, you're going down first. So,
You know,
You have
every
to
once
be
in a while,
instructor is still conscious to land it.
If
every
we
once in a
joust
while, I
with
tell a
whips,
student
we're
that's
gonna-
freaking out, like, listen, if worse comes to worse, I need you to take a real deep breath and hold it. I'll tell you when. And they'll go, why? I'm like, 'cause I need an airbag.
That's good. I like
That's a
that.
good one.
I was this close, Carlos, to saying, you know what, I'm gonna go with you on Saturday this year, but you didn't go. So
Well, it's the wind. The
Um,
wind
yeah,
Saturday
on
was too
Sunday
high.
though.
no, I didn't know he was going on Sunday. He just didn't show.
Oh,
He
okay.
he was in the air calling CQ Parachute Mobile before I knew it. So and it's I thought it was I thought it was really cool that you did an unannounced jump and just did it for the use. That was really
Yeah.
great of you, Carlos.
So,
Did any of
dude,
you-
the youth jump is something I want to do and keep on doing. Like I've done a couple of years,
Totally.
2-3 years
Yep.
now, and I want to keep doing it because, you know what? I've edited the video and I'm already letting the cat out of the bag by saying it here.
Nobody watches this stream anyway. Go ahead.
Yeah, only let me go back to my YouTube tab here and see how many people you have watching right now.
289.
289 watching on YouTube right now.
Hello.
Hello.
I
Salam.
I was editing my
like
video for the youth jump, and the calls were like, it's little Bobby, and he's using his own real call, and he's an extra, and little Johnny, and he's using his real call, and he's an extra. And it's little Jane, and she's using her call, and she's an extra. And I'm like, what in the world is going on, right? Like, because last year we had a bunch of control operators. This year we only had like 2 or 3. And the year before that we had a bunch of control operators. So I sent Good Game a message saying, hey man, what's going on? He goes, those are the kids, a lot of those kids you talked to last year, you spark up, you lit a match on them under them, and they wanted to get you with their own calls. And I'm like, oh,
That is
mind
cool.
blown, man.
That is cool.
Dude, it was mind blowing. I was just like, oh my God. And like an 11-year-old with an extra. I'm like,
I can think of all the OMs that are out there pissed off that there's all these young kids that are no code extras.
Hey, screw them.
Why aren't they on AM?
Carlos,
they're keeping this ham radio hobby alive for us.
Carlos, have you ever thought about a CW parachute mobile activation?
Yes. The reason I'm learning CW right now, I swear I've been learning CW since this time last year. My decode sucks. I can send all day at 15 words and 20 words.
That's everybody.
But my decode sucks. So I don't want to do an activation parachute mobile with decoding that I can't decode, right? Because I need to be able to send it back to you. So I'm like, believe me, as soon as I'm comfortable doing an activation, I'm going to go do a POTA one. And as soon as I do a POTA one, the next parachute mobile jump I'm doing is CW. And I bought one of Aaron's keys at the Hamfest specifically because it's so beautifully, the mechanics on it are beautiful and smooth. And the idea, and it's so light that I can take it with me and not worry about it. See, there you go.
And if you drop that key, you probably won't break it.
The balloon guy may or may not have sent me that just now.
That's hilarious.
Go ahead, Carlos. I'm sorry.
$2,300. That could be your sponsorship.
So
contact Robbie. He might actually do that. You never know, man. So go ahead, Carlos.
No, I'm just answering Josh's question. That is a CW parachute mobile is going to happen. I just need to be comfortable decoding. I can decode a single character, sometimes 2 characters at a time, but more than 2 characters, my brain goes, right. So
the only thing I did to get better at CW was I did some every day, and I went out every month. And I set the goal here on this live stream 2.5 years ago on New Year's Eve, and I said I'm going to go out and activate 100 contacts a month minimum, doing POTA activations, and I'm going to track my progress month over month. And by month 9, I was finally comfortable at it. So all you have to do is commit to a goal and do a little bit every day.
It's called discipline, Vince. Good job in showing that.
No, Josh. In my case, it was called publicly saying I'm going to do this, and then having you all keep me accountable. Pressure.
And here it is, right? Like,
it's good too.
Here's the public. If you haven't heard it from me before, because I've said it in other live streams when asked. Yes, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of I need to be comfortable decoding. It's pointless for me to go try this thing and not be able to decode and send you back a call.
Yep.
Carlos,
that's good.
I got the perfect
good one,
answer
Josh.
for you.
It is, man. Terry, that's funny.
Vince and Charlie, plug your ears. You don't want to hear this. Send CW, have them respond voice.
No, I don't. First of all, that's not going to work.
Because not all of them might know CW. So,
but that doesn't work, right? Because we have limits on where CW and voice can be, and where I'm going to be operating is.
No, we
don't.
We
do.
I thought you can operate CW anywhere in within the band edges in the Americas, in the United States of America.
Yep. So did I. I really thought that too. Okay. And then I was on a Reddit thread explaining telling that to somebody, and somebody said no, you cannot. And I provided links to the FCC rules. And they provided back another link to the FCC rules saying, and here's where the FCC says that CW is from here to here.
Send that to me, Carlos, because I'm curious about that
CW
one.
can be ran anywhere.
Yeah.
You know why? It's so that you can
modulation
reply
types.
to a station. It's so you can reply to a single sideband station that might not be able to hear you. So you can do a single sideband contact where the responding party is doing CW. That's totally allowed. It's
I've done it
completely
before.
allowed.
I've had it happen several times.
Hold on. I had to take my earphones out for a minute because my dog was bothering me. I had my wife take her out. But so are you guys talking about doing CW on the sideband portion of the band? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So here's something, and I get this in my comments fairly regularly, not every day. But people are like, they think the FCC has segregated the band to CW, digital, and sideband modes. And I'm like, no, the FCC doesn't give a crap where we do CW or sideband in the band. It's all, that's basically, it's either a gentleman's agreement or it's an ARRL
suggestion.
rule of thumb suggestion.
Yeah.
There's no rule that says you have to do FT8 on 14.074. In fact, if you do an FT8 contest, they usually pick a different frequency. There's no rule that says you have to do CW or digital at the bottom of the band and sideband at the top of the band, or FM at the top of the 10-meter band. We have.
I'm going to send
whatever
the link. I'm going to send the link in the chat.
Okay.
That says otherwise.
All right.
Good.
Okay. Now I'm not saying that FT8 has to be run on a specific frequency, but the government document that I just sent in the link.
Wait, no, FT8 versus CW. That's different.
Exactly, right? So
right.
There's a portion where CW and sideband are delineated, where one happens on one side and one happens on the other.
Except for CW. CW is not. There's no restriction on CW.
Right. I'm just saying that the segregation of the band to digital, CW, and voice are something we put into place, not the FCC. That's all I'm saying.
Band plan versus FCC regulations is
correct. Yes, that's good designation, Charlie. Yes, band plan versus FCC.
Might I jump in here real fast, gentlemen? I am going to say 7-3. I'm out of water and I'm sweating in my garage here. So y'all have a good night. And,
hey, Frank.
Hi, Frank.
Hey, Frank.
See you, Frank.
See you later.
See you, Frank.
Yeah. So Frank actually dropped the link there. It says specifically, except
that's
as
from
specified.
Carlos. I just forwarded it along to a chat.
No.
Except as specified elsewhere in this part. And so where is elsewhere in this part? Is authorized.
An amateur station may transmit CW emission on any frequency authorized to the control operator.
Yeah, I think there's no restriction.
So that says you can transmit anywhere unless it says otherwise. Yeah. Anywhere that your privileges allow you to. Let's qualify.
Right. Yeah, CW. I guess you guys are correct on that. Yes.
Yeah.
It's voice apparently that you're not allowed to do voice under a certain
and digital. Yeah, digital has its own place too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's true. Carlos, going back to what I was saying, take two. You usually take two radios up with you. Take the 705 and do CW there, and use the FT5 for voice. So that way, everybody, you can send CW. They can try and decode it.
He's only got 10 minutes.
Frank, you're presuming I have way more bandwidth up here than anyone. I don't have that much bandwidth up here, man.
It sounds to me like Frank.
Carlos.
Sounds to me like Frank wants to jump with you, Carlos. So why don't you take him up?
No. Yep. Yeah. These feet stay on the ground.
Carlos, why don't you just do CW with the right hand and voice with the left hand? What's your problem, man?
So CW on the left ear, voice on the right ear.
Do the hell
Two radio single operator under canopy. What's your problem, man? Why aren't you contesting under canopy, Carlos?
Ham harder, people. Ham harder.
James,
I really think
he takes
call yourself a ham.
I really think it'll be difficult to do CW on a jump. It'll be more difficult than the sideband for sure.
Why don't you jump with him sometime, Charlie, and prove that?
No, I'm also feet on the ground. Sorry.
Carlos's feet are on the ground, save for about 14 minutes.
If anybody could do CW while falling, it would be Charlie. Charlie's just he'll be talking to you and he'll be like with his left hand. He's left-handed. It makes him weird. So he just left his left hand going and he's talking to you, having a conversation. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, man? He's like, oh, I'm doing this QSO over here. Charlie is a phenomenal CW. Don't let him lie to you. He is
So
a
you're-
great
don't
CW
don't let him
operator.
lie to you. Is right.
Your difficulty with doing CW under canopy is that you'd have to remember the call sign because you can't really write it down, right? So
That's
you have to
exactly.
remember the call sign
True.
and then be able to complete the contact because you're recording
Run a
it.
voice
So you'd be
recorder.
able to
Yeah.
run your contacts after the fact,
Well,
just like you do
right.
with satellite
Right.
contacts. The
Right.
problem
Yeah.
is the CW reply on the call sign.
That's
That's
exactly
But
the
you,
right.
problem.
you got to remember it on voice too, because I never write anything down when I'm working.
Yeah, but we
sideline.
all speak words, and so we
What
have
Josh
an
is
easier
saying.
time with that. But the CW part is you have to be proficient to do
But
that.
if
That is
you
true.
if
Yep.
you're I think Charlie could do that. I think he's like it's like he sees words, right? So he's like,
It's
"Oh,
possible. You just have to
it's like,
record
oh,
it, and
that's
then
a yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
yes, recording
Once
for
you get
context, but
proficient.
you need the call sign to reply back to them so
yeah,
they
you
know
can
that.
you can do that in
Right.
your mind.
Yeah.
Well, if you're good enough, yeah.
Charlie
If
can.
you practice, yeah.
And
Some of
that's
us
where I'm
can,
at. I'm
yeah.
not good enough yet, but I'm learning.
I'm not
You know,
either. I'm not either. No way. But Charlie can do it. Charlie can do it.
Maybe.
To change
Mr.
subjects,
Head
Robert.
Copy.
To change subjects.
Go ahead.
What
Tim.
happened with it? What happened with Instagram?
Oh,
Because I remember last night you were excited that
See you,
you got
Dave.
an Instagram account.
You know, I don't know if I was excited, but you know, so I caved in.
That's right.
Oh, Robert's very anti-meta. So did you create an Instagram account?
Yeah, based on
Okay.
you know your experience over
Yeah.
the weekend, I thought, well, holy crap, I need to get my butt on Instagram. So I created an account. I posted 2 whole posts.
Night, Dane.
Good night,
See you,
Dane.
Later,
Later,
Dane.
Later, Dane.
Thanks for joining, buddy.
Yeah, I was gonna show you guys a key really quick before I got out of here. It's the N0SA thing. I was gonna do a video on it. Sorry, I got light in the car.
Yeah.
But
Oh, there it is. It came
yeah,
up.
I can't do a good video on this because I don't know if they're still available anymore.
N0SA still makes keys in limited batches. You just have to watch for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do the video, even if they're not available, do the video.
Yeah, do the video.
Yeah, but I the thing that I end up having a problem with that, doing a video that with something that's not available consistently like that is just people are gonna get upset.
I'll get over it.
No. You know what? I was thinking about this.
Anyway.
No, listen. I was thinking about this, and I wanted to do a review of N0SA before. What you do is you just take the video and you review that paddle, and then just make a qualifier. You know what? N0SA, he may not have this one available. He probably doesn't. He just makes them, as Vince said, in small batches. So if you want one similar to this, you can't probably get this one, but you can maybe get a cooler one. Just reach out to him via email and see what he has available, because he does do them continuously, but just in small batches. So just review the paddle and say you could get one similar.
I would just do it. I mean, how many times do you see pack 10s in my videos? And they're they're a hard to get
Constantly.
thing. And I just tell
That is
people, like,
true.
you got to go to their groups.io and sign up, and that's how you'll get notified. But
Yeah.
Dude, that
there's
was
such a huge demand for those antennas, and like that's not going to stop me from making an antenna. It's here it is, and here's where you get it, and check frequently. The same thing with the ZBedX. I literally bookmarked in Safari the web page so I could check every few weeks when it was available, and then like a little over a month ago, it was finally available, so I bought one.
Facts.
You know?
Dane, let's put it this way: there's so much unobtainium out there for us hams that we all have some sort of one-time knockoff that you may get something similar, you may not.
You need to play the YouTube game. So the title of the video should be "The Best CW Key That You Can Never Buy."
There you go.
And you just make
I
the
got
video.
one of those.
Get instant click, baby. Well, hey, thank you guys very much for having me on. I do appreciate it.
Thanks,
I'll
man.
say
Thanks for
something
joining,
everybody.
Looking forward to your video.
Okay.
Hey,
Later.
take care.
See you, Dave.
All right, Robert,
Yeah.
you were talking, Robert. So let's turn it back to
Oh
Robert.
yeah. So I created this Instagram account, and my first post, I mean, they kind of put your logo up there, and they said, send this out as your first post. So I did that.
Yeah.
I put a little caption on it that said, something like, against my better judgment, hello world. And
what's
some
your
folks-
handle? What's your
Digital
tag?
Rancher.
Okay. All right.
And so, folks were chiming in on it, whatever. And, Izzo hit me up, and I said, yeah, if I start having Zuck nightmares, I'm deleting this thing. That's like the only thing I had posted. And then all of a sudden I got an email that says your account's been disabled. You need to do something within X number of days, or else we're gonna delete your account.
See, here's
Yeah.
AI and what it can do.
Yep.
And why I said it at either the beginning of this stream or on Frank's stream. Like, I'm not
Frank's stream.
supporting any of this AI stuff.
So
I'm not finding you, Robert. Is it an active account?
Well, they might have booted me again.
Yeah, I found him. Just Digital Rancher, all one word.
Yeah.
All one word, Digital Rancher. I'm not seeing. I don't see it.
So I was
it's not active.
Instagram harder.
So I was kicked
smarter.
off for most of the day, and of course I had to post about it on X, right? So
Of course.
Yeah.
You know what's really interesting, Robert? I know that I have you on my Instagram, and I'm not finding you anymore. But I'm finding Spec 5 with a video of you.
There we go. I found it.
That's
I found
interesting. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I'm gonna share it in the chat. So it took me like 2 years to get Frank to create a Twitter account. He's like, I don't want Twitter. Oh, no. This is back when it was called Twitter. And I'm like, dude, I understand your reasoning. And I understand your reasoning behind not liking Meta. I get it. I really do. If I have said 100 times, if it wasn't for my YouTube channel, I would have left Facebook years ago. I wouldn't have.
Same, buddy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But if you're gonna be a YouTuber, it's good to put your stuff out to all the popular channels and maybe even some of the unpopular channels as well. I have a Truth Social account. I post on there like twice a year. So, but it's there. If it ever blows up, I've got it. It's there. Here you go.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, so
but it was. But
funny.
Instagram's actually.
Doesn't Truth Social want a copy of your ID before they'll let you have an account?
X?
Who?
No.
Truth Social.
Truth Social. I didn't give a copy of my ID. No, if they would ask for that, I would have been like, forget it. No.
Yeah, I'm like, deuces, no.
I think that's to be
Well,
verified.
I mean, for you, Carlos, I can see them asking you for that. Yeah, I
look like a Viking. I look more American than you do, man.
You are like
We've heard about
you are like a foreigner. I mean, Puerto Rico is not a real country anyway, right? So come on.
I was going to say, I think Truth would want your voting records before you can join.
Don't vote.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Carlos, I think you're thinking Meta because they want your ID there.
No, I have like 7 different Meta accounts. I've never had to provide an ID for those.
Yeah,
it's for the blue check mark. It's to be verified.
To be verified, but not to create an account. Yeah.
So Rob, I heard what you were talking about with Meta last night, and I have to say, out of all of the social medias, Meta or not Meta, I'm sorry, but Instagram, I think, is probably the best because you can't get into these diatribes that you normally get in Facebook and X, because really it's mostly about pictures and there's no links. So people are not really posting outside material. They're primarily posting about that. So I've got one that's off-roading. I've got one that is amateur radio. And those two paths don't really cross. It's pretty much just ham radio people or just off-roading stuff. And I prefer it out of all of them.
And people are nicer on Instagram. People can get really toxic and vicious on Twitter, but people are much nicer on Instagram as a general rule. I mean, there's some trolls out there, sure, but there's trolls on YouTube. I find more trolls and negative comments on YouTube than I do on Instagram. And I'm not going to shut down my YouTube channel tomorrow. So yeah, Instagram's one of the nicest ones out there in my experience anyway.
So surprisingly too, TikTok as well. The ham radio community of TikTok is actually is really strong.
TikTok's pretty good.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
I can't get I'll put a short up there from YouTube. I got a couple thousand views. I'll put it up there on TikTok. I get 3. Same video. I don't know what it is.
You got to show some more skin, Tim.
Maybe I need to dance while I'm doing.
Wave that
radio.
beard around.
The Chinese hate you. I mean, you need.
Right.
It's the beard. It's the beard. They don't like that.
They think
Carlos,
you're Russian.
Do you have your ponytail braided?
No, God, no. No, this is just my curls.
Okay.
I was in the shower and my hair's still wet, so
Okay.
If I ever braid them,
put in some product.
I
think what I'll do is I'll
got that soul glow on.
I think I'll do the
soul glow.
The double pigtails.
The double pigtails.
I'll do double pigtails that are braided. If I ever do that
with the barrette,
that's
right?
The way to roll.
I got Mike again. Good.
Sexual
I tried-
chocolates.
Sexual chocolate.
You not know him.
I know. I
Joe the
try to get my
policeman.
wife.
I
I try to
believe
get
the
my wife to
children are
put
the
braids in
answer.
my beard, and she will not do it. She's like, "You'll look stupid."
You could do like what I have for the DX Commander, where I've got the little beads that are numbered, so you know which wires
Oh,
the
yeah.
band.
I love
like
that.
40, 30,
The little
20,
friendship
17,
beads that
50,
you have.
7,
Yeah.
Speaking
All right,
of,
Shane-
Jason, if you ever decide to build yours, I've got those beads. I got 7,000 of them because I had to get.
Well,
those to
Shane, I
put
was
them in
waiting
mine.
on you and Frank to tell me when we were going to build those, and then apparently you just did that. So
You couldn't wait any longer.
I couldn't wait anymore. I waited 2 years.
I'm waiting for you, buddy.
There's been like 2 revisions.
I was
of
like,
that
I was like,
antenna.
hey,
Right.
I was like, hey, let's go to the deer lease and build ours together. We can shoot guns and drink beer and have
When's the
whiskey.
last time
and-
you've been to the deer lease, though?
A month ago.
The
I
deers
go there
now
all-
run the
I
establishment.
didn't get a phone call or a text.
I go there all the time, man. Well, that's because the last 3 things I've invited you to, Shane, you're like, well, I'm working. Your
You're in
new job,
Galveston.
your new job where you have the freaking weekends off, you're more busy now than you ever have
Yeah,
been.
your new
man.
job is
know.
tearing us
Look,
apart.
I
Shane.
found out. I drove all the way to Texas at one
Holy
time,
crap,
you know,
dude.
and Shane expected me to drive to him still. I
Like,
mean,
swing by, buddy.
Shane's new job is ruining ham radio. There, I said it.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. It's all those
Well,
damn.
now you and Frank just build yours, and we'll all go to the deer lease and tune them up.
That's fine with me. Shane, the other Shane joined us. QFI Shane.
Hello,
Which I know is-
other
No,
I know-
APX now.
There we go.
APX.
I know, but I'm still gonna call him QFI because in my phone he's QFI. So
Shane,
what's up,
did you
buddy?
change your call sign because of the nickname that Leia gave you?
I don't remember what that was.
Queefy?
Queefy.
That was Mike.
That's what Mike calls me.
Now.
That's what Mike calls me. Yeah.
No, I think that was from Mike. That's true. I
Yeah,
don't think
that
Leia
was
would have
from
given you
Mike,
that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
What's up, brother?
I still live up to it. Why not?
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
no
man.
sense in fighting it.
No.
In the
there's
words
not.
of Mike, hi everybody.
I don't think I've changed your call sign in my phone. I think it's still.
Nah, he's still got his old call sign in my phone. That's how I know that.
Yeah, he's under Shane Queefy.
Shane
Queefy
Laqueefy.
Shane. So it's not Ginger Shane, it's Queefy Shane.
Right, right.
So-
What's
Yeah.
your new call?
K6APX, Alpha Papa X-ray. Just
You
think
know,
of
because
Leia
of the
just said that your
APX.
nickname is now
just think of
Bridget's
Motorola
fiance.
APX, and you'll feel all better inside.
Yeah.
Some Motorola Apex are Shane.
Or-
Some, not
Or
all.
Shane,
one
you're-
screaming in the other direction because it's Motorola.
Shane, Leia just said your nickname is actually Bridget's fiance, is what.
There we go.
Uh,
Yes, I am getting married in 5 months from today. I'm getting married. So
Nice.
Good
why
luck.
wait,
Nice.
dude? Just
Awesome.
do it
Yeah.
now.
So
We can do it
Y-
right
you
here
know.
on the live stream, Shane.
Oh,
I mean, I am an ordained minister.
I'm ordained.
And see, Mike is an ordained minister. We can do it right now on the live stream.
oh.
Shane, are we
Shane,
doing it at the HRO like we did for Rosa? And can I live stream your wedding from
Party
the
at
HRO
Rosa.
like I did in
Shane.
2018?
hear me out, buddy. Hear me
We
out.
could-
Look,
we
all
could totally
these
do
people
it
are
on-
giving you terrible ideas. I'm
Yeah.
going to give you an idea that is unique.
Jump out of
We
a
can-
plane. It's
We
not that
conduct the
unique.
ceremony
Parachute
at
matrimony.
14,000 feet, and then we do dual tandems where we get you guys together. You get the kiss
No,
done under a
hear me
tandem,
out.
and then we.
No, see, but that in that
That's a
when
good-
I say
There's
ideal,
no
it'll
running
be,
away from that.
it'll be I.
That's a good way to collect on your life insurance policy very early in the marriage.
So,
Naturally.
so I,
I'll be like,
I-
we're sorry
signature.
we didn't file the paperwork in time, and your marriage isn't. Isn't valid.
No,
do
that
not-
one
sh-
signature is Carlos as the beneficiary.
I could just see the pastor like reading the vows over the ham radio, and he's like, "Hang on, let the repeater drop."
Now, I
Well,
will,
of course,
I
there'll be
will-
somebody
love
going
it.
check-ins.
No. He'd be keying up and be like, ah, dang it, timeout timer, son of a gun.
If anyone deems this couple should not get married, please check in now.
Let's key up
So-
on the frequency.
So I do
Then you
know
hear
this,
Ka-chunk.
unless
Yours
unless
at-
Shane,
Please
unless Shane,
chunk
has,
the repeater.
Shane, have you and the fiance changed the venue, or is it still where you told me it's going to be? Because if it's where you told me, That is better than anything else.
Is it? Are you talking about the Hatchby Train Museum?
Yeah.
That's exactly where it's going to be.
Leia is so in.
Now you're gonna have
Leia's so
Frank
in.
just show up.
Leia's coming to your wedding because of the trains, dude. She's in. She's full foamer status right now. We're going hard.
Hey, did you see that? Jason, you see that picture Dave posted in the chat?
No.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's find that.
Wait, in what chat?
Charlie
In
left.
Zoom.
Thanks, Charlie.
Oh.
He's got that Spec 5. That's a Spec 5 number.
That's a Spec 5, isn't it?
No,
no, that's the seed.
That's not. That's the seed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I
would like to get this one and test it, but the one thing I will say.
Me too, Dave. 71 as well.
I am brand agnostic. So this is probably the seed makes a great device, but the Spec 5 has a 12-watt solar panel, and you guys have a 5-watt. So
that's fine.
But
it doesn't matter.
If you use less power, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at southern latitudes. It matters where the hell I live.
It's two 18650 batteries that are in there, Jason.
Vince, nothing matters where you live, buddy.
Except good rye whiskey, buddy.
God damn. Jesus.
My channel, Josh. Come on, man.
Oh man, hey, that's true. That's true. We're just here at your property, man. You can kick us out anytime.
Mike.
Vince is a good sport, buddy.
Oh, look at the kitty.
Kitty.
Baby. He looks so cute and innocent.
I like that.
There's so much evil behind.
Oh
those
yeah, that's
eyes.
right. He's got Satan Jr.
And he just bit me.
Oh, there you go.
Lives up to the name.
It's a cat. What do you expect?
Are black cats always green-eyed? Are black cats always have green eyes? I don't know of a black cat that doesn't have green eyes.
I don't know. I guess. What's its name?
His name is Squirt.
Squirt.
I called him Squirt because he was the smallest of the runt. We found him in the backyard.
That's how I got Satan.
See? Yeah. He's a funny little guy. Say hi, Squirt. Say hi.
Chin
looks
scratches
very
all
annoyed.
around.
So annoyed.
Yeah, that cat. Yeah, that cat's
Cat
unhappy.
hates being
Like, look at
held
this
too.
cat. Get me
It's
out
a
of
cat.
here.
What do you expect? Of course, a cat's gonna be annoyed.
Yeah.
He's not impressed. He wants to play with my fingers.
He wants to eat your finger.
I would have a cat if they gave a crap about you at all.
Oh, they do. They do.
They do.
Oh,
They
But
will
I don't
follow
like
you
cats
around
either.
so they can ignore you.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Or put their butt in your face.
Look at my butt. Look at my butt.
Watch me lick my butt. Yeah.
I've got one good barn cat, and then I've
Yeah?
got one that's like an idiot. One that's like just. I mean,
He's the extra special cat.
I would like to have a
Yes.
cat to put it in the attic and just live in the attic of my house. Because there's always like a squirrel or a rat getting in the attic of my house. About once every other month, I have something up there. I just like get a cat, put it up there, and you live here now.
I think you need to like patch the hole in your roof, dude.
There's not one. I can't figure out how they're getting in there, dude. Seriously,
through the
I
hole.
can't. Yeah.
What
find
would
a hole.
what would Electra think of a cat, Jason?
Dinner.
I don't know. No, she would think that about a rabbit or a squirrel, but a cat, I don't know. She might get along with a cat, maybe. I don't know. I've never tried it, so
Electra's pretty
No
chill.
telling.
She'd be good with the cat.
she's pretty
She'd
chill.
be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's good.
I
With,
think
she's
I think
good
I
with
heard her
it.
bark maybe one time the whole weekend up there.
She doesn't bark. She doesn't bark.
Well, you
much.
weren't around enough.
She barks
Yeah.
at other
Yeah.
dogs, but I
She
think
barks
it's,
at other
it's,
dogs,
it's
yes.
but it's like to come. I think
It's an
she's saying like come
announcement.
over and play, like come over
Yeah.
and say
Right.
hi. Like
Yeah.
she's
Correct.
not aggressive.
Correct.
She wants
no,
to say
she's not
hi.
aggressive. No,
No.
she loves people. She doesn't bark at people at all. Someone new walks up to the campsite. She's like, "Hey, can I show you inside?" A burglar walks up. "Hey, you want to come in? Hey, it's cool."
Come on in for a drink.
She loves people.
Regardless of how we all see you on the internet, Jason, however you come across, you're a good guy because you have such a good dog. And the fact that Electra is such a good dog. Every time I see that dog, I'm like,
It's got three
great
good
dog.
dogs.
Great dog. And
You're-
I
you're,
love Electra.
Your little corgi you had was a good dog. I still have a picture of
Charlotte
that.
was
Yeah.
fantastic. Chloe,
Yeah.
we now have Chloe. Chloe's really nice too. She's
seen
not as
Chloe.
well trained as your dog because
Yeah.
corgis are they don't train as well as like German
Yeah.
shepherds and
Yeah.
other dogs.
I wasn't at,
Yeah.
I
But-
wasn't at Josh's
yeah.
house long enough for Chloe to
Chloe.
get used to me.
Yeah, she was. I will say she's a COVID dog, so she's skittish of many things because she grew up like just with us, and so she's very like pack centric, and so she's like, you're an outsider, you're not okay. But if you hang out long enough, she's good. She'll come up and let you pet her.
Hey,
So-
Frank.
Yeah.
He's the only Frank in here. Speak of the devil.
I was about to ask you. Let's see the backside of that shirt.
I don't know if y'all can see it.
No.
Got to stand up straight a little more.
UP, Santa Fe, something loop, something.
That, yeah.
Big time foamer status.
Dude, hey,
that's not the way.
Shane,
I don't know if that. Okay,
Shane,
there you go. There you go.
Shane,
oh,
you
look
have
at
your
that.
pants-
He's got the Santa
Shane,
Fe
you
on
do
there.
have your pants on, right?
Yeah.
Really?
That should have been a requirement before you jumped up on camera.
That's where he's got the train whistle.
That's Tehachapi Loop, one of the three great loops of California that was a railroading feat.
3? Where's the third?
Arnold Williams Tehachapi.
Oh, I didn't know Arnold. Oh, okay. See, I learned something new. Look at that.
And that Tehachapi is the closest to Josh and Shane.
Yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, just like that, welcome to Train Talk.
Yeah. Choo choo. Is it 3 chugga chuggas before you give the choo choo, or is it 2?
It's 4. It's 4.
Oh, see, you got to have a
get it right.
professional tell you that.
Dude.
You got to have professionals tell you that.
Y'all want to talk about fishing or hunting? I'm good with trains. I'm like, nah.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Can we make
Well,
this trout talk? I'd love to talk about fishing
I
for trout. No, I'm a big
choose
fan.
you.
Speaking,
Oh my God.
Oh, that was bad.
speaking of fishing and hunting, I have some bad news to share with everybody. Just got word that Duck Dynasty's Phil Robertson just passed away.
Oh wow!
no.
Yeah, I saw that earlier, but yeah,
I mean-
that sucks.
Is this unexpected?
No, probably not, but it still sucks.
Mhm.
Still
He had
sucks.
Sai
Alzheimer's.
is still alive.
Oh,
He had Alzheimer's, so as a result from that.
He was 79 is what I think it said.
Yep.
Really?
I thought
have
he
it
was
right
like
here.
99.
Yeah,
He looked.
I thought he was like 89. Seriously.
Seriously, I thought he was in his 90s.
Yeah, yeah.
What'll be a real loss is when we lose old Hey Jack, Uncle Si here.
No joke.
Yeah.
Mr. Tupperware Cup sweet tea himself.
Sweet tea everywhere. He would be a hell of a ham.
That's what I'm saying.
Boy, would he rag
So-
too.
He sure would.
So Josh and Freddie Mac, I need you guys to do like an opening sequence for me with both of your accents. We can do the redneck ham radio hour.
Don't
And,
forget Joe
and
Brett.
You guys can, and Joe Brett, yeah. And yeah, you guys, I just need y'all to come up with like a 5-minute
Hang on. Wait a minute. I have to interject here and step in for Joe Brett, because if anything, Joe Brett doesn't qualify as the redneck. He is the Southern gentleman ham radio guy.
Yeah.
He's Southern gentleman.
I'm gonna call him the
I'm not
colonel.
used to seeing him with hair.
What about all you guys with 5 calls? Being in Texas and Louisiana and all that, you should have
Do I
the
have
redneck
an accent? Do I have an accent?
You really don't.
5 calls like
That's
Central
because
Time.
that's because I've spent 51 years hiding it, buddy. Yeah.
Those Californians have an accent. It's just a unique breed.
California has California
Yep,
can have
I
an
agree.
accent. Yeah.
I had an uncle.
Oh yeah,
It's-
we'll
it's,
go down the 405, and then we get to the 10, and then.
No,
What's the
that's
problem,
the same
Kyle?
with this accent.
Kyle, just go down the 405. I don't know what your problem is, and then get to the 10.
Now, Josh, putting the in front of it is a total SoCalian thing.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
We
like
don't do that
joke,
up here.
We in the SNL, the Californians, like that skit, like that is, we laugh our ass off when we see that because it is so funny. Because it's like we add the. It's funny because it's true. We add the, and it's the 405, and it's the 605, and it's the 5. Like we do all that.
You can tell when someone's from SoCal because they'll put the in front of everything, and apparently, this was told me years ago. Hella, HELLA.
That's NorCal.
Is NorCal, and Hecka is SoCal.
Don't forget about the Valley Girl
I've
thing.
never heard anybody say heck.
I don't even do the Valley Girl.
I've never heard that before.
Oh my God!
It's South.
Like whatever.
Grody.
Reading a book
Mono
set in
like
Maine.
nucleosis, man.
I was reading a book set in Maine, and I could tell you that the author was a Californian because he was talking about the 95, and it was like nobody in Maine calls it the 95. It's
Nobody
I-95.
anywhere on the I-95
The 95.
corridor.
That's all it is. 95.
You can thank California for the vocal fry. I think that's where that comes from. That lady said, was like, you know, the vocal like sizzle that they do.
Yeah.
That accent comes from California.
That reminds me of people in New York who say they stand online.
Oh, that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I don't even.
So
What?
I don't stand online.
Yeah.
So we're watching like the Impractical Jokers. And they're talking about standing online. I'm like,
what is that?
What do you standing
It's
online?
inline, but they
What
say
line do you
online.
They say online though.
Oh,
That doesn't make any
Instead
sense.
of
I hear
Never heard
Howard
that.
Stern say it all the time.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. They're like standing online to get into a movie theater or a play or something. I'm standing online
that just
right now.
mean
Like,
like it
what
shows
line
you
are you
online
standing?
on Facebook or something? Like standing online?
No,
I don't know. I don't know.
What's
That's a
funny
New York
talking
thing.
about? What's funny talking about accents here? I'm born and raised California, born in San Francisco. You know, never. I've traveled and whatever, but my family's all from the South on one side of the family, and I went into Starbucks one time in Sacramento, and the barista went, "Are you from Tennessee?" And I, no, it was not a pickup line. I went, "No." She's like, "I like your southern drawl." I'm like,
It was a her?
Yeah, yes, it was a her.
Was
Tim.
Okay. Just checking.
I
I'm
had
like-
someone think I was from Alabama.
Yeah.
That's
So-
like the biggest insult you can get. Except
Ow.
for
Yeah.
during Huntsville Hamfest.
No. I had someone accuse me of being from California one time.
Oh,
And
I
I'm like,
can't
that's pretty
imagine.
rough.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really? Because
No, your accent's not Tex. Like you sound like you're from Texas.
It's from Dallas.
I do sound like I'm from. You
Yeah.
think so? You think I do?
think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally not.
That's not a
California.
bad thing. That's just
No,
that's how you
no.
come across.
I don't take that as a bad thing. I'm just,
Yeah.
you know, because to me, because there's okay. So you watch like the old show Dallas and whatnot, and you watch like movies where people are from Texas, and they all have this like thick accent. I'm like, people don't freaking talk like that down here.
No.
But you know, the same thing happens when Boston. Like, you ever watch The Town with Ben Affleck? How they're all talking like in this Boston accent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and that's a good movie, by the way. But I'm like, yeah, people kind of sort of talk like that, but it's not nearly that deep as they make it sound like in the movies. So it's just.
Have you
it's-
been to Longview?
Jason, I think you get when you're in a large city like Dallas, Fort Worth area, you're going to get more of a Midwestern centralized accent.
I think
than
so,
you
yeah.
are if you
Yeah.
get further
Yeah.
out into the country.
Yeah.
Go east to Longview, and all those movie accents, you'll see every one of them.
You know, I know a couple of people in Longview, and I don't think
No,
that's
it's not
rampant.
everybody.
I don't think it's no, it's not everybody.
I
no.
have an event
So-
in Sulphur Springs at the first weekend in June, and I will take video and show you.
My
'Cause it's the
father's
Hopkins County
family.
Dairy Festival.
My father's family is from Hopkins County. We have there's a cemetery in Hopkins County that a lot of my dad's family is buried in. So I've been out there a lot, but not in a long time, but when I was a kid. And to me, it doesn't sound that much different. Now you go to like Little Rock or Shreveport, or not Shreveport, Little Rock or like Texarkana, that's a different story. But out there in Hopkins County, I don't really tell that much of a difference. But again, if you listen to audio recordings of me when I was like 10 and 15 years old, then I sound different than I do now. But hey,
Yeah.
y'all
What
wanna
do you think
come out-
changed?
Come out less Southern drawl. Is what I think.
Is that like a conscious thing, or like just over time it just changed? Like you didn't even notice.
At one point in time, it was like a conscious thing, and now it's just kind of like I don't even notice. Because
If you went back and watched some of your early YouTube videos, would you hear that you're a Southern draw then, or is it?
I don't think so, because I was like 40 years old when I started YouTube. So no, back when in my 20s, you would hear me a little bit different, I think. But no, I don't think so.
Interesting.
But you guys tell me.
I have definitely watched your older videos, and I don't think you come across any different.
No,
mean,
I don't. Yeah, I don't think I do. But
Don't try to do a Boston accent and make it sound like it's from New York. They don't like that.
Boston, the only place where you can lose your car keys and you don't know if you're talking about pants or keys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Car keys.
Okay.
Car keys.
Car keys.
Car keys. Where are your car keys at?
Guess who's got Smart Pack?
Smart Pack. Smart Pack.
Do they make does Duolingo have a Boston mode?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Good question.
They
They have
really
Klingon.
should.
They have Klingon, so they should have Boston. I mean,
The
There you go,
owl is
Carlos, you should
just
patent
holding a
that.
Dunkin' Donuts like every time you log in. That's all it's got is a Dunkin' Donuts. It's just drinking Dunkin' constantly. That's the thing I don't understand. I don't understand the East Coast and Dunkin' Donuts because I've had Dunkin' Donuts and the
We have those
affinity.
here.
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay, help me out. Like the affinity that people have for Dunkin', like I don't get it.
I don't get it
look,
either. Yeah.
I'm not defending Starbucks. I'm not pretending to say like
Right,
Starbucks is better or anything like that. Like, but Dunkin', man, people are like ride or die Dunkin', and it's like,
Well, that's
really
when In-N-Out Burger first came here, people were like, oh. And I went and ate there, and I'm like, it's like a tiny ass hamburger. What's the big deal? I mean,
it's cheap. It's inexpensive. They make the
guess.
potato, the fried, like it's, look, don't get me wrong. I like my Five Guys. I love Whataburger.
Five Guys is much better than In-N-Out, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, but it's twice the price. It's twice the price.
Okay.
So that's
it
that's the thing.
So it
Five Guys
wasn't
for $50.
when it came here. It wasn't like, hey, go get a cheap hamburger. It was like, hey, these are the best burgers ever. And I'm like, it wasn't advertised as being cheap when it came here. It was advertised as being so great. It's the best hamburger ever. And I'm like, it's okay. It's not bad. It's just like, what the hell?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna eat an In-N-Out, a Whataburger, Five Guys every time. I'm gonna eat one of those before I go to like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's.
Yeah.
Like so.
I have a
that's the way
question
I look
though.
at it.
When did this turn into Clubhouse?
No, this is the proper happy hour that existed
the other Shane is
before
here.
the Clubhouse.
We've been going for 2 hours and 17 minutes. That's what.
Yeah.
So
That's what happens.
And Carlos, not only that, we have what 2/6 of Clubhouse here anyway already. So.
We've talked many times on this show about barbecue, whiskey, bourbon, food, hamburgers, that kind of thing. So
look, I'm drinking rye. You can't. Oh no, hang on. This is not rye. This is bourbon.
That looks like vodka. I can't tell.
Looks
Can't
like
tell.
an empty glass.
Oh, it's empty.
Because I'm out.
Okay.
So what's good from Puerto Rico besides coffee?
Rum.
Oh yeah, Puerto Rican rum. Okay.
Drink.
Look, we make and consume more rum per capita than any other country in the world. If you want to drink really good rum, get some aged rum from Puerto Rico, be it Bacardi 8, Bacardi 10, 12. There's a distillery in the south side of the island called Serrayes, makes a brand called Don Q. Don Q has a Gran Añejo that is a 12-year-old.
Exactly what he just said.
Don Q's Gran Añejo, oh my God, it's like tears of gold in your mouth.
Later, Shane.
Yeah, can we get that in the States?
See you tonight.
Later. See you, Shane.
Yeah, can you get that in the 48?
I don't know that you can get Don Q Gran Añejo in most of the U.S. I find it every once in a while in Chicago at a liquor store chain called Benny's. So if you're in Chicago, Benny's is the place. In Indiana, go ahead.
My wife and I, we went on a cruise one time that left out of San Juan. And so we went and spent the night at San Juan, and we left out the next morning, and we're like, wow, this is really cool. So like a year or two later, we went down and spent, I don't know, a long weekend, not very long weekend at San Juan. And I really like it down there. And I really think that if I were to go spend like a month in San Juan, I would become fluent in Spanish because I know that much to be. I'm like right over the edge. I know more Spanish.
You don't want to spend a month in San Juan.
Well, just in Puerto Rico in general. But
yeah, it is.
And the same, I said the same thing when we went to Barcelona. We spent 2 nights in Barcelona and got on a cruise ship there as well. So But I liked San Juan. I thought it was a cool area, but I'd like to see more of the Puerto Rico province as well.
You know, do what MAK did. N2MAK went to Puerto Rico. He sent me a message ahead of time saying, "Hey, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico. I'm going to go over to this place." Is that a good? Yes. He went to the East
Yeah,
Coast.
I will. I didn't know you back
Super
then, but I
chill.
will absolutely do that next time
And
I go down there.
I have a document that I wrote for people that are going to the island, telling you what to do, what to eat, what not to
Really?
eat. Oh yeah,
Awesome. That's cool.
and
Oh, that's cool.
like if you're going to the island, send me an email. I will send you a copy of that document. And if you do what I'm telling you to do and stay out of the touristy areas, you're going to have a cheap vacation. Cost of living in Puerto Rico is peanuts, right? And the food, look, I'm going to send you down the good food road, but you have to be open minded.
Oh, that's my wife's thing. She likes to try new foods, new restaurants in eclectic areas.
What does that
totally
mean?
do that.
Open minded though. What does that mean?
So, for example, I grew up in Puerto Rico. It's not uncommon for you, the food truck scene here in the U.S.
Yeah,
it's sort of new. It's new in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah. Yes.
Not here in LA.
It's been a thing in Puerto Rico since I was a little boy, right?
Yeah.
And there are places that have had a food truck in that spot for so long that the wheels are in the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
No,
right?
but why is that exotic? Like, what do they serve that's so different from like? What you
So
might get
it's not the exotic. It's the fact that you're eating on the side of the road, and a lot of Americans aren't.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you're going down the busy highway, and there's a food truck over there, and you're hungry, so you pull over and you park next to it, and you eat, and it's a greasy spoon. So there's it's been there for 20, 30, 40 years. So the sides of the food truck are coated in grease, right?
Yeah.
But
What makes
the
it-
cooking area itself is clean. So as long as you can get over the visual on the outside, man, the food is phenomenal. And here's the thing. People go, "Oh, but it's on the side of the road. It's going to be this, that, the other. I'm going to get sick." You know what? If you got sick, they wouldn't be in business because they built a reputation on having a good place to eat.
My ex was like that. She's like, I told her I went to this taco truck like across the highway. And she goes, "Oh my God, you're gonna get sick." I'm like, I've already been there like 10 times.
No.
I haven't
Those
been
are some of the
sick.
best places.
And then I actually had gotten her over there and she was in love with it. Totally changed her mind once she actually experienced it.
So, if you're open-minded in terms of where you're gonna look, the cooking surfaces are clean. There's near zero regulation, but the regulation is in the market. If you get anyone sick, that word spreads like that, and that place gets shut down fast. So
that's the best way to do it.
you end up in a place where you can, first time I took my wife to Puerto Rico, she was thankfully, I wouldn't have married her otherwise, but she was thankfully open-minded about the idea of doing what I'm going to go do. And I pulled on the side of the road. She's like, "Is this?" I'm like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." I brought her, I think it was a soup. And she's like, "Oh my God, this is the best soup ever." I'm like, "This is mediocre. Don't worry about it. We're going to stop at a place later today that's going to blow your mind." So yeah, man, if you go to Puerto Rico, send me an email. I'll drop you
absolutely
a copy.
cool.
And
absolutely.
So something I've always done, and this is touching on what Carlos said. When you travel, don't go to the tourist spots. Go to the mom and pop stores, the
We
mom
never
and
do
pop
that.
restaurants. It doesn't matter where
So,
you are. Just
I saw Robert moving. I saw
We
Robert
never
moving
do
his
that.
lips, so we didn't hear him because he's muted.
Yeah.
We never do that.
Sorry. Yeah. I always think of things like tripe soup when I think of Puerto Rico.
Delicious.
Great
Right?
stuff,
Delicious.
man.
That's the kind of stuff I thought you were gonna
Menudo,
bring
dude.
up as people
Menudo
needing
is
to be-
fantastic if
Menudo.
you look. Menudo is fantastic if you get it at a place that's
Totally.
reputable, and if you're okay with the idea of a chewy thing, right? Like the
Yeah.
texture is chewy
Texture,
and whatnot. But my God, it's just my
That is
aunt.
the Sunday morning hangover cure.
So, Carlos, are you
Yeah,
making
yeah.
catering ideas for my wedding? Is that what's going on here?
There you go. My
Oh,
aunt
boy.
makes a normal dish in Puerto Rico called gandinga. It's really sweet breads that have been cooked in wine and then stock.
Ooh.
Jeez.
Oh,
Okay.
so good. You tell most Americans we're gonna go eat kidney and heart and lung and liver, and they go, "Ugh," and it's like, just shut your mouth, open,
Shut your mind and open your mouth.
Yeah, there you go.
Taste this, and then you're gonna go, oh my God, this is good. And it's like, yeah, it's
We were
freaking
talking
delicious.
We were talking about Southern rednecks a minute ago. Nothing of what you just said would be off-putting to any of us down here. So,
Right.
Yeah, we're good with that.
I've been in 23 or 24 different countries. And to Frank's point, every time I go into a new country, I try to find something different, something local and in that route. Now, I have a pretty restrictive palate today, but when I was younger, I'd eat whatever, and God knows what I've eaten.
Well, Tim,
I know I've eaten monkey and some other.
So have I.
Tim,
Tim,
Thailand.
My angle on it was basically wherever the safety briefing told me not to go, that's where I'm going to go eat.
There you go.
Seriously, the safety briefing would go, you need to stay out of this area, this area, this area. Great. I'll stay out of this area until I am able to get away, and then that's where I'm going to go eat.
That's right.
That's where the good food is at.
Tim, that's true, not just for traveling abroad, but here in the U.S. Most
True
people,
also.
they stick to the interstate and they go to McDonald's and Chevron, Shell, whatever, They don't get off the interstate. They don't travel, say Route 66 or something like that and check out the mom and pop stores or
Frank, here in California, we don't have a Buc-ee's. So that's
I know, Shane, but
Yeah, at no time am I ever looking at a Shell or a Chevron and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat there."
Yeah, that's 7-Eleven sushi.
That's not
Rolling dogs.
Josh, some people are
been on there 7 days.
Some are desperate enough to have done that. Trust me, I know them.
There's some Chevron stations here on the island that have a good restaurant inside of them. It's like it's not the Chevron that runs it. It's like they've rented it out to somebody.
Oh yeah,
They're doing like a seafood grill or something. That's actually kind of popular down here.
That's wild. Getting a seafood grill in a gas station.
I know.
That's crazy.
Chicken on a
That's
steak.
crazy.
Chicken on a stick, though, man.
Yeah. No. It's not stuff like it's freshly caught. They buy them from one of the local markets here, and they cook them up that day. And so
we have a Mexican restaurant in our Chevron in Cloverdale. So
one of the best hamburgers I ever had was from a gas station in the town where I grew up.
Really?
They made one of the best hamburgers ever. So
when I was in Florida for Hamcation, we went to is it called a Wawa?
Yep.
Yeah. But that's a Pennsylvania chain.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty good.
I love their quesadillas at Wawa. They're awesome.
I guess you have to live here to get used to it and not be like too thrilled about it. But they're not too bad. They're better than other places. The subs are okay as long as they make them correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, who here's had a pub sub?
A what?
A pub sub from Publix.
Publix? Yeah.
You're kidding?
Those are good.
I know what Publix is, but we have Publix here, but I've never had the submarine sandwich. We stopped for gas on the way, I don't know, a few hours outside of Xenia on the way home, and there was a Skyline Chili right next to the Love's Truck Stop.
Yeah.
So Mike is like, Mike did. He's like, I've not tried it. Let's go try it. I'm like, all right.
Skyline is gross.
Skyline's
bean
great,
soup.
dude.
He went in there.
So good.
It's
so
like
good.
Bean soup.
It's so not good. It's so not good.
It seems like I remember this conversation 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't even know what.
Do you guys have Sonic where you are?
Yes.
Yeah.
A Sonic chili dog?
Yes.
That's Skyline Chili.
It's
terrible.
not.
It's absolutely terrible.
It's not the same. The seasoning is completely different. It's completely different seasoning.
I mean, when
cinnamon is not sweet seasoning in chili.
So yeah, I've vlogged it, as part of my my travel day vlog up there, and yeah, I picked up cinnamon in it, and it's delicious, surprisingly.
Yeah. So it's. So wild thing about Skyline. So the history of Skyline is it's a Greek recipe. The seasoning that goes into it is Greek. But what's crazy about it is the same seasoning that they add to that chili is the same seasoning that you get in a Vietnamese soup called bacca, which is one of my favorite things ever. It's like it's a hearty beef stew that has the same flavor profile as that chili that's in Skyline. It is a very the chili is really good. Now I will say, depending on which Skyline you go to, sometimes they make the noodles too wet. Like they leave too much water in the noodles, which is a That sucks. That's not okay.
I remember not liking the chili.
Oh, the chili's good. The chili is great flavor, man. It's really good. It's complex.
It's like out of a can. But
no, they make it, dude. I mean, well, yeah, you can get it out of a can if you want to, but no, like it's good stuff. Amazing flavor.
I want to say I've had Bacall, but it's been a long
Bacall
time.
is freaking amazing. One
of
my favorite Vietnamese
I've never had an Asian or an Indian food that I don't know much about Indian food at all, but I've never had an Asian food that I did not like. I don't know what the heck it is sometimes. I'm just like, okay, but most of it's very
curry in it. I won't touch it.
You won't eat curry?
I can't stand it. I spent so much time in the Middle East. I cannot stand curry.
Yeah, I like curry.
No,
Jason,
love curry.
Have you tried Chef Point over in Colleyville? It's in Colleyville. It's a gas station. Yeah, so it's a gas station that has a restaurant in it.
Okay.
I dropped the link in our private chat there.
Okay.
They have the best fried chicken. It's called Better Than Sex Fried Chicken.
Really?
Ooh,
Okay.
It is phenomenal.
That better be some
fried
damn
chicken.
good fried chicken.
Right?
I'll be doing
but
it
it's in a
different,
gas
I guess.
station. It's
something that Dane was talking about.
You can get some good food at a gas station, man. I mean, just if it's like crap that's underneath the counter where you check out, then it's no good. But if there's a separate restaurant in the gas station, many times those are actually quite good.
So something Dane was talking about, he's a over-the-road truck driver, and he said they get spoiled in a lot of these truck stops now. You know, they're bringing in organic coffee and good food and stuff like that for them to eat because you know, a lot of them are really starting to be cautious and careful of what they're putting into their bodies.
Dude, truck stops used to have some of the best greasy spoons like in the country. Like chicken fried steak and fried chicken and mashed potatoes and fried okra.
Home-cooked
You used to be able to get like a very soul food type food, and used to be. Now I haven't seen that in a long time, but you used to be able to get some really good home cooked meals in a truck stop.
I've had some of my best breakfast tacos at truck stops.
Yeah, those too.
You see the old man and the old lady running the little restaurant off to the Oh my God.
Yeah. That's like when you go into a Kroger and there's an actual Japanese dude with a top hat behind the sushi counter. You're like, okay, this is probably pretty
that's
good.
pretty serious.
You're in a Kroger, but the dude back there is making it fresh, and you buy it and it's actually pretty darn good. If you buy it that was made yesterday, it's not good. But if you get it from him when he makes it fresh, it's like, I mean, is it the best sushi in the world? No, but is it good? Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I'm not a fan of sushi. I
love
it.
I can eat sushi all day long.
Yeah.
My fiance always taste. And just remember that sushi is not raw fish. Sushi is the rice. So
I like sashimi, nigiri, sushi. I like all of it.
Yeah.
Wait, where are you going with this? What do you mean it's not raw fish? What do you mean?
Sushi. The word sushi is not raw fish. Every time people that don't know sushi, never had it before, you say sushi, they think, oh, it's raw fish. No, it's not. It's the rice.
Oh,
it's sushi roll.
Ingredient or something?
Oh, right. He's saying that. So sushi to be called, there's different types of sushi. Like it's
different ingredients.
It doesn't matter. Gunkin rolls and whatever. You're talking. It's the rice. Okay, yeah, because sashimi is just the fish.
Yeah, but I like the sashimi and the nigiri. And the
nigiri is the single little hunk of rice with the fish on top of it. Yeah,
right. The sashimi is like 2 or 3 pieces of just raw tuna or salmon or whatever. I like all of it, absolutely all of it. So
I've gotten to the point where I would prefer just eating sushi or sashimi instead of cooked fish at this point.
Yes. Oh yeah, anytime.
That's kind of how I am right now. Like I don't even want to eat it cooked. I don't even want to have it cooked. Really.
Cooked salmon, yes, but catfish is like the best food on the planet.
Cooked, yes. Okay, I'm back in on that. I'm back in on catfish.
Blackened or fried catfish is like the ultimate. Like Jesus ate catfish. It was so good. Yeah. The best fish in the world is catfish. But
just so long as it's not slimy.
For salmon, well, if it's slimy, then when cooked or cleaned correctly. But Josh, I agree with you on salmon. Salmon, I'll eat cooked salmon, but.
And even tuna. Like I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat cooked tuna. Like I want to have. I'd rather have sashimi or sushi tuna for sure.
I would too. Yep, I'm with you.
Man, all this food talk's making me hungry, and I'm waiting
I
on
know,
dinner.
I know. We've had several people drop out that says, oh, I'm getting hungry, guys. See ya. So, all right, we're gonna shut this down. We've gone for 2.5 hours, and this is really fun. So everyone have a very good holiday tomorrow, and appreciate you guys joining me tonight. And we're gonna do this again. I'm not sure when we're gonna do it in June, but we'll find a day to do a happy hour in June. And hope you guys have a good rest of the week. And just anybody have any closing arguments or anything you want to advertise real quick?
I may be able to make Huntsville happen this year.
Good.
Do it.
Do it.
Awesome.
Do it.
For 3 reasons. One, oh shoot, they just skipped my mind now. 2 is I actually owe one of their police officers a patch because
Well,
he
there
gave
you
me a
go.
patch
There's your
in
reason.
2023.
If you're gonna owe a police if you're
It
gonna
sounds
owe
like you committed a crime and you're trying to like.
Right.
No, he
Justify
gave me a
it.
patch. So he asked me if I
Yeah.
had one to trade, and I didn't have any at the time on me. So I was like, "Oh crap, I'll get you. I have his
you one.
card."
Yeah.
And
good.
3,
Number-
the friendship and camaraderie in the community and stuff.
That's one of the most. It's one of the most.
We missed you at
fun-
Hamvention, Shane.
I know. I
You did.
I missed everybody.
But
Sorry.
Huntsville is one of the most fun hamfests.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah,
And
most
everybody
chill,
says
too.
you can do the whole
Yeah.
show in a matter of a couple hours, which is true. But I can
Yeah.
go through the show at least 4 or 5 times and still find something I didn't see on the previous go around.
Yeah.
We were just talking about you about that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
have Shane go with you. If you want a Motorola radio, find Shane and just have him show you where the good stuff is.
A friend of mine who was a seller at the flea market at Dayton sent me pictures of what he had on his table. I'm like, dude, you suck. Like, it was just Motorola's everywhere. I'm just like, oh, this is terrible. The other reason I was going to say is I need to check out that new store Gigaparts has.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I mean, contact me, Shane. I don't know where you're staying or whatever, but we'll work something out.
Yeah. Adam texted me saying he might consider going this year.
Yeah, no, I think he's going too.
Is he really?
There's
Maybe.
there's always room up on the mountain.
We're most
You
of
don't
us are staying. Most of us are staying on the mountain.
Yeah,
So
that's the
that's
fun
where the
spot.
party. That's where the party happens. So.
Shane, I thought the 4th reason was what Jody said: Huntsville bachelor party.
You know what? That was an idea I had. That was an idea of mine.
That's where we make it rain with APX radios and you get a concussion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go, Josh.
And a wicked hangover. Yes.
All right, guys. Once again,
Shane wakes
thank
up,
you
he
very
has
much.
welts everywhere. What happened to me? Well, we made it rain with APX radios. They all landed on your head, buddy.
Right.
Carlos dropped him out of a plane on you.
Yeah.
Thank you for explaining your joke.
Made it rain. Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for joining tonight. It was fun as always. Look forward to the next time, and you guys have a good holiday this weekend.
Always a blast.
And shout out to why Memorial Day exists.
Exactly.
Yes,
Good
fallen
point.
those who have fallen for the freedoms of this country.
That's right.
Very good. So thanks, Josh. All right, you guys have a good one.
73, y'all.
Sorry, 3.
Everything.